Or
you
3
know,
Bs.
when you know 2 Ds, but not one, that is a B. So.
I'm alive, bro. I'm alive. DeBrief.
Good evening, guys.
That one over hot there.
It's sweet.
It's the way you got comedian on the show, boy. You're nothing but jokes. You're
Ain't
gonna be nothing but jokes when you laugh.
Well, that's all right. You'll see. You shall see.
Listen,
Because-
he's got loose to winner.
Of course.
They got a whole song named that by Fantasia.
All right.
Yeah, but it come with not blows.
No.
Loose to win, Simon.
No. We gonna go forward, boy.
Listen, me and Motley lost in 1991. Who is she today?
Prime Minister. So anything is possible. Anything is possible.
She was 26 though, so you.
Yeah, but that's a long time. But no worry, the Democrat Labour Party will research, and as we start the debate and everything, you will see there.
I thought you researched already.
Oh, we are on our way.
On our way.
You're on our way, but I don't want to preempt the moderator.
So let me tell him my children that he coming on. He on the way.
Yeah.
And he still can't get there 2 hours later.
You're all right. We will get there now. The race is not for the swift,
We're gonna get
but for you that
there.
will endure to the end. It's all about endurance.
A biblical man tonight.
It's endurance. It's about endurance.
God bless you, my brother.
It's all about endurance, brother.
It's an insurance.
And
Oh,
not
sorry.
insurance.
Oh,
Endurance.
my bad.
ENDURANC.
I was thinking. I
Just in
thought my
case,
insurance.
just in
thing
case
is
you
broken
lost in
today.
2023 or 22, Kimar's made a valid point. You should have an insurance policy to cover the loss.
Of course, we will cover the loss and move forward. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling very positive.
There you go.
There's work to be done, but all the signs are saying, we have gotten traction and interest. And that is so important. Traction and interest.
Yeah.
Traction and interest. Because if you have a lot of movement, you got a lot of activity, busy activity, but you're not going anywhere. That's just inertia.
But what I will say to you is this: I like the fact that we have a healthy democracy in play now.
Yes. Once everything goes the way it's supposed to, baby.
No,
The democracy is all healthy,
Listen.
right? That I saw members of the Democratic Labour Party enjoying themselves.
At the
for
BLP.
vote.
Get the news, but that's it.
And I will say this.
They said that them got a vote.
Simon, regardless of who wins the current by-election between in St. George North between Tony Moore and Floyd Reefer and
No other candidates.
I purposely
You didn't
discount the other candidates because to me they're just making up numbers. I
And
personally
splitting votes.
No,
really.
they're not going to split votes. Between the 3 of those candidates, they'll probably get 50 votes
If that
collectively,
much. If that much.
and that includes themselves and the person who seconded them that vote.
It's 4 people, right? It's 4
It's
people.
four. How much people vote?
Yeah.
No, it's 4 people that got
The UPP.
No, 4 people that got to make up for you to have a vote.
Yes.
For you to run.
Right, so
they get 4 votes.
so 3 by 4 as well.
3 4 is 12.
12.
And if any of them is in the
between-
constituency, they can vote. So
they'll get a
family
few
and
between
so on.
there. So realistically, no, I don't think the family can vote for them. So the reality is that this is a dead heat, a dead heat between
Two
Tony
horses.
Moore and
And
Floyd
Floyd
Reefer, right? And because of the traction that this by-election has now taken on,
That's right.
it is becoming a existential struggle between the Barbados Labour Party
Once
and the
again.
Democratic Labour
Once
Party.
again.
What is interesting about this race is that you have a seasoned veteran politician in the like of Prime
Yeah.
Minister Myanmar Motley,
That's right.
leading the Barbados Labour Party team.
Charge,
And
then
there's
you
no
have-
seasoned
Hold on.
veteran politician
Hold
on the Democratic Labour Party.
And you
I
have,
will not-
you
I will
have,
not say
you
that.
have, you
I'm
have,
asking a question.
no, hold
sir.
on. You have,
That's-
you
that's
have, you
everybody.
have another seasoned politician,
Who's
just
that?
not a winner.
Not a winner.
Who's that?
Seasoned politician,
Verna
but
has
not a
been around
winner.
for 10
Who's that?
years.
Brother the Pizza.
But
She has been around for 10 years. She has
So
been,
what you getting seasoned
no,
veteran for 10 years?
When it's a season, she
But as a seasoned
understand.
veteran in the homeless,
Okay.
But you are,
Okay.
but no, we must be real. We must be real. Have you ever sat in the Senate of Barbados?
No.
Have you ever sat in the Senate of Barbados?
No.
Yes, but not.
Have you?
Yes.
You know what?
Yeah,
You know what? I will even be fair here and say that we have a semi-seasoned politician because
Of course.
we have
She
in
ran
our
on the
ranks
ticket. She ran on the
someone
ticket.
who
She ran on
ran.
the
So you are
ticket.
seasoned because you are third vice president of the Barbados Labour Party.
And I
that
was
is
second
the
And you're a
level.
20-year veteran, 25-year veteran in the party.
But
That's the
no,
party
the
level,
reality
but
is,
national
the
level.
reality is
Objectively.
instead of looking at who has won a seat, all right? We're looking at two persons leading two political parties.
That's right.
Right?
I would not
One-
vote
and-
for
and hold on,
one
hold on,
season,
just
nothing.
But listen to what he's saying.
I can't
Give him a
understand
chance.
that.
Give him a chance.
We have a
Because she came on this
we
program
have-
and others
we-
did not
we
for the
have-
Barbados Labour Party.
We have a
Fair.
we have a very seasoned and probably best prime minister Barbados will ever have. right?
At this given time, yes.
No, Simon. Let's
Yeah,
be
be
real.
honest.
Let's be real.
She is
Miss
very-
Motley.
Yes.
Miss Motley.
You only produce one.
Hold on. Miss Motley has
One
eclipsed.
Mad.
Miss Motley has eclipsed every prime minister that this country ever had.
In levels of
Including-
communication and so on.
It's not only communication. I will be fair.
Foreign reserve.
I will be fair.
Borrowing money is
We're not
different
looking. No,
money.
we're not looking at foreign
At least
reserves.
the borrowing-
We're looking. We're looking.
Let him finish before
Let
he-
me speak, Timur.
Let him
I'm
speak.
supporting the Barbados.
Yeah, shut up,
He's
no,
supporting the Barbados Labour
We
Party.
started the show for about 10 minutes.
But he's
Hold on,
supporting the Barbados
let me
Labour
speak.
Party,
Let
so
me
let
say
him
something.
continue.
Everybody, 1 second, please.
Yes, please.
Good
They even
evening
started
to all
showing
of the
it.
viewers. And
Yes.
we appreciate you joining. Please copy the link, share
And share
it,
it.
Follow.
That's what you're supposed to do, moderator.
put it on your WhatsApp status.
Yes,
Let
please.
everybody know that the debrief is
Send
on.
the link to me.
Akil, we
Now y'all can resume the fight.
but before we
did.
do not accept your apology, Akil. We do not accept your apology.
Yes.
You should have been
Okay,
here.
but-
Sorry, is this guy for real? What foolishness is he talking? So the show has started. Just let me say, Kimar Safri here is moderator. I just start with the
Yours
beautiful
was-
Crystal Austin,
Yes.
moderator Simon Ali.
Handsome, please.
Then we have Jeremy Bedford on the far right, the money. He's coming on shortly.
Stuff in his face.
Stuff in his face. So we're talking about election here
By-election
in
and US
Barbados,
election.
and we're also talking about US election. We want your take, we want your feedback. Feel free to join in, share, like us. Go ahead. There will be there will be future PMs like Jermaine.
Just listen.
Okay, you have emergency with children. I can
Akil,
accept
that's
that.
right,
Then,
Akil.
Akil. We can accept that.
We can
Listen,
accept that.
Let's go.
let me continue saying what
And then I will.
You can wrap up in like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Yes,
I can wrap
or
up
one.
in, I can
Or
wrap up
one.
in 30 seconds actually.
Okay,
Go ahead, my
good.
brother.
When you look at the vision
Yes,
that
yes,
Prime Minister
yes.
Motley
Yes.
laid out in her 2018 manifesto, and even
Yes.
before that in the Covenant of Hope, right? The reality is that if Miss Motley is able to achieve even one half of everything that she has said she will do,
She would accomplish a lot.
she
yes.
not only will she accomplish a lot, Simon, she will go down as the best Prime Minister to date at Barbados.
Fair enough. I accept that.
we
I
have to
accept that.
be real
I
with
accept-
that.
I have said that before. She's a very good prime minister. But just like the West Indies team that had Brian Lara, the best cricketer ever, the West Indies
So
team.
they
is
have
still
Floyd at
together.
one time or two and lost the test series.
But man,
I just
listen,
asked
that's not
him.
true.
I asked him how much test
Can I-
series did he want?
Can I continue what I'm
How
saying?
much test series did he want? I just asked him.
You know what? If you want, you know what I like, you're going to
Semantics.
do a record too.
Simon,
Let's but no, let's
don't
be
bring
real.
cricket into it in
I
this
have to
time.
bring. I'm bringing cricket in the context that yes, we have a strong prime minister, but I don't have much confidence in some of the members of her team. Now let's get back to the.
Which members?
I can get to that. Let's get back to St. George North by election, which is not. It's being treated like it's a national election because basically for some people it's a referendum on the performance of the government thus far. For me, it is about addressing an issue with regards to representation for St. George North. At the end of the day, as I told people as we were canvassing on behalf of Floyd Reefer, I had to tell a guy that's a BLP supporter, I said, listen, if you vote for Floyd Reefer, it's not an issue. You still have Prime Minister Motley.
Very true.
You still have Prime Minister Motley. How can one seat and one voice for the Democratic Labour Party stop the democratic process in Barbados? What it actually does is enrich the process because you actually have a person who can speak authoritatively for the opposition. The reason why a lot of people do not take Bishop Aberley as serious opposition is because he came from the Barbados Labour Party. You have a young man that has not been tainted by politics whatsoever. A young man
Let him speak.
a young man who is the best that St. George North has to offer. He has been considered. He has been considered as one of the heroes in the community. His name is known as one of the leading persons, one of the examples.
Where is that?
It's in some community center.
Manifesto.
That is not true. That is not true.
But he's only going to be a leader when he's
You promised to give the man a chance.
Hold on, I'm asking the
He
question.
lives in St. George North.
But people said they didn't see him, Simon.
Some people didn't see him, but some people never see Tony Moore neither. Some people never see Tony Moore
Does she vote for the
representing.
consistency?
The last time I saw Tony Moore, she was crying and saying that she feels so bad that she disappointed the workers in Barbados.
Where was
So
that,
let's not
Simon?
go there.
Where was that,
was at her
Simon?
annual conference, so let's not go
That
there.
she disappointed the workers?
That she disappointed. She's sorry that she can do more for the workers.
But that,
So let's get real.
don't get there. In
Let's get
that
real.
statement, Simon, it was meaning that she always, as a passionate young lady, worked to do more and more and more.
I have not seen
But I
Floyd
don't
Reefer
think she's trying to tell herself that she did less.
No. Let me continue. Hi, it's so good to see you. I am
Simon.
going back. Can I please finish?
No, let
Miss
finish,
Austin?
let finish.
Go ahead.
All I am saying is that
Sing for yourself. Here.
any person that votes for Floyd Reefer is voting for the best in St. George North.
You want gang in
because he came from among the people. And the argument of the Barbados Labour Party for this whole campaign is that some people have pedigree, some people deserve leadership, and others do not. When I look at Floyd Reefer, I see a young man just like anybody else
We are
who
all
has
young men
made a young person who has made strides. And a young person. It's like saying that Akila Jones or somebody else can't represent in politics. What I am saying is that Floyd is the best that St. George North has to offer. Somebody was asking me why Verla de Pisa didn't run down there. It's not about Verla de Pisa. It is not about Verla de Pisa. It's about It's not about Verla de Pisa. It is about the best person to represent St. George North. And we believe that a homegrown young man who came from St. George North, who lives in the constituency, is able to represent the people of St. George North.
And what has he done for the people of St. George North before he
Big works, big works. He spoke down.
No, I asked you what he do.
And by the time he spoke by the bush, we saw excavators coming and clear the bush. He spoke down by the pavilion that was left languishing for 26 years.
But he's Democrat Labour Party as well.
My
Party.
understanding is that
You're saying as
the
well.
meeting at Flat Rock took place long after the.
You're misinformed, Miss Austin.
Hold on. Your meeting at Flat Rock took place
Not
long
that meeting.
after
That was
the
the
Barbados Labour
Party had
Party's
one.
meeting at Flat Rock, and it is normal or customary for a party to canvass the environs where they're having a meeting, and it is very likely that they were told by the residents that they would like the bush clean before you had your meeting.
But Floyd spoke
And the benefit
to the
is
issue.
needed.
Floyd spoke
and
to the
therefore,
issue
while it may seem as though the timing between when the bush was cleared and when Floyd made the call are two correlating circumstances, one could easily argue that they aren't. And I'm not saying that it is or isn't. I'm just saying, for the purposes of argumentation, and I love your passion, but realistically speaking, Simon,
I see
it is
this
very
also.
possible by process
very
of deduction to assume that Tony Moore, having canvassed the area before Floyd, who live in the constituency,
But then again, she knew she was running for St. George North way before Floyd Reefer.
What proof? But you brought for River a day before. What you so calling Jordan? What you calling? What you so calling?
She's an independent senator and she was canvassing in St. George North since last year.
Well, you should have done a better job. You should have had Floyd in the constituency.
All right.
We allow you to speak, right?
Go ahead, brother.
I want you to allow you. So when they're ready for
Sorry.
you, you can walk go through
I
that
would never
door.
go through that door.
I hear them, Chris.
I want to be the voice of reason.
Yes, I agree, Crystal.
As
That's why we call you Mother
as the
Nature.
lone female to help,
No, we
to help
appreciate your
temper
opinion.
some
Yes.
of these very hot and heavy passions. If it is true, and mind you, I believe the horse's mouth is the best place to get your truth. But if for the expedience politically of St. George North and the strategic approach that is taken by the parties involved, Tony was canvassing.
You're really going to sit down there and say
If Tony was canvassing,
What proof?
I
What
wasn't
proof?
canvassing with
What
her.
proof?
But no, it's not about what proof. It is this. Why wait until the by-election was called to pick somebody to be out there? You
body
should have,
yourself
from
out
the
there.
time you heard Tony Moore was out there, a pedigree, you should have made sure you had somebody in the field
Fair enough.
to balance the scales.
Fair enough.
But it appears as though, because there seems to be some deficit in leadership on your side,
I can't agree with that.
that
ma'am.
the
Can't agree with
decision
that.
to put somebody to run was only made in a knee-jerk manner
It wasn't.
after the by-election was called,
yeah.
and after, my understanding is, Kevin Rowe and Faber
You're
said no.
misinformed.
Crystal.
You're misinformed, Crystal.
I can
You're
ask
misinformed.
Jump in.
I just want to
misinformed.
answer a question.
Go
Jump
ahead.
in for your 2 minutes there.
No, I don't need
So that Floyd apparently was third choice. But if we are going out
You're
there, if we are going to be
misinformed.
running with rumors,
Is
let
it
me put that rumor
I
out
will explain
there.
because I'm part of the
Hold
executive.
on.
so I can
Let me
explain.
ask a question. I just want to ask a reasoned question here because
You can ask a question.
Right, I am trying to be the voice of reason this evening. The
Let's
real
see.
voice of reason.
He is.
Okay.
I'm biased.
You lost 30 seconds.
I'm biased and objective. Go
Introduction.
ahead.
You remind me of a singer.
How do you determine leadership? Because you just said that there's a leadership deficit or void in the
I
Democratic
disagree.
Party.
In the
I
context,
disagree.
I ain't asking you.
in the context,
Nobody's asking you.
But hold on.
How do you determine leadership?
Hello, in
She's
the
a
fact-
female,
in
there's a
the-
female
but she
leader,
said
there's
it.
two female
You-
leaders. Let her ask the
Hello,
question.
are you there?
don't need to ask the question.
Let
Let
her
her
answer
ask
it.
the question.
But Kimari, you want to hear
Genitalia does not determine leadership.
Of course.
Right,
not.
Let's just put that on the table now.
I agree.
Even though I would go as far as to say that I have endorsed certain feminist positions, postures, and principles, genitalia does not determine leadership.
Agreed.
So what determines leadership?
First point.
Agreed.
To me, leadership is about impact. Is about the extent to which you have a track record.
Efficacy.
And from where I sit, politically speaking, when you look at the impact and the track record of the current Democratic Labour Party leader, it is not surprising that people are concerned that even after the decimation in 2018, the DLP is still seemingly imploding and
It is
trying
not.
to
Far
regroup.
from it. Far from it.
But I will
You're
say
misled.
this.
You're
I
misled, Mr.
will
Let's
say
finish.
this.
Sorry.
The fact that she was re-elected for, is it a
Third.
second year or third year?
Yeah, third.
Yeah.
Third
This is her
presidency.
third
Third term.
I think the fact that she was
Going into
re-elected
the third term.
Going into third term. Yeah.
demonstrates that there is some calm,
Don't open.
that there's some settling taking place in the Democratic Labour Party camp. Because to change leaders like that all the time would obviously tell people that the party is still not settled. So I was very happy for her and the party because it shows consolidation, and I think consolidation is something that people want, because people say they want democracy. And I want to make this last point to say this. There is nothing, as much as it is something we are not accustomed to, as much as it's something that we would not necessarily desire, there was nothing unconstitutional about the results of the last election. Let's put that out there now. Whether we would say we want an opposition or not,
The people spoke.
the
people
people
spoke.
spoke,
I agree at that time.
and the Constitution functioned effectively in that result.
Just as it was supposed to.
And
Of
the
course, I
and the
agree with that.
mandate that
I
was
agree with
given, the mandate that was given was not only constitutional, it is legal. And therefore, I have a lot of qualms with people who make this very anecdotal comment about we need an opposition
We do.
and we need
Singular speak, let's speak.
we need an opposition, and then they tack
I'm
on
moderating.
for democracy. But there's nothing undemocratic about the way how Barbados' government is functioning right now. All that is happening is that we are concerned that, as the saying goes, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Correct.
And from that perspective, I can understand and appreciate what people are saying in terms of the fact that, you know, we need to start seeing seats shifting from the Barbados Labour Party to other parties for our psychological comfort, but make it very clear that
Yeah,
there's
should be.
nothing unconstitutional
Fair
about what
enough.
is
I
happening.
understand
give
your
you a
point.
reply. Let me
I give you-
reply.
I give you a
reply-
minute, Jeremy.
Let me reply
Cause-
to Crystal.
I'm worried for the money as well.
I
If you
am
have any
in
names,
full
eh?
agreement with everything you just said with reference to the Constitution of Barbados. The fact that the people of Barbados spoke. I am also in agreement with you said that power corrupts and power
Power
corrupts
corrupts,
absolutely as well.
Agreed.
However, where I think, for me, your argument falls on a bit. You're going after the president of the Democratic Labour Party. She is, listen to the position. She is the president of the Democratic Labour Party. She's not the political leader of the Democratic Labour Party. One. Number two,
Who is the political leader?
I don't know who's the political
Who's
leader.
political leader, Simon?
The political leader obviously
Is the president?
in this case is
Why lost?
But that's
No,
all right.
but
That's
no,
okay.
hold
You
on.
got me lost?
Hold
It is
on.
different with the Barbados Labour Party.
Right, and the
Hold on,
evidence.
hold
Yeah,
on.
I
Go
beg
ahead,
you,
go ahead,
Hold on, hold on.
Are you saying
It's
that there would be a
fine.
political leader if they have
I
to?
don't know.
That's why there's that's why there's a vacancy, because
I
nobody
don't-
has a political
I
thought
don't
there's a
know
general
what is
secretary
going on
and
in the
president.
Democratic Labour Party.
No, there's
right?
no
Don't
vacancy.
speak
Right.
on what you don't know, sir.
Right,
no
hold on.
vacancy.
But no,
That's
what
okay.
what I'm saying is this.
Yes, right.
There are different paths to leadership, right? Because that we are accustomed to one type of
Very
politics
silent.
or one way of doing things in Barbados. doesn't mean that things aren't being done differently. Now the reality is, you just acknowledge your point that Mr. Pisa was re-elected for not one, two, but a third occasion, right? So it shows that Ms. Verla de Pisa is leading the Democratic Labour Party.
Clearly.
She's not leading the Barbados Labour Party. She's not leading Solutions Barbados. She's not leading Barbados. She's leading the Democratic Labour Party. And the members within that party have decided within themselves who they want to be their leader.
That's right.
She may not, hold on, she may not be the leader that you like, but she is the leader of the
I
Democratic
never
Labour
said I
Party.
don't like her.
Right?
Right.
And
I
we
don't know
have
her.
to
I don't
acknowledge
like
her.
her.
I give her that
Jeremy.
respect
Or not like
as a leader.
But
But doesn't
the
mean
leader
she
of the
cannot be
Democratic Labour
spoken
Party.
to,
And
or
I will say this
opposition
to you,
cannot be
to
spoken
add to my
to.
point even further. There's a prime minister in Barbados, not in Barbados, in the Caribbean by the name of Dr. Keith Mitchell, who wins elections 15 love. He won 15 love twice. Then he was voted out 8-7, right, by the NDP in Grenada. If I remember correctly, when Dr. Keith Mitchell became the Prime Minister of Grenada, it was a situation where there were 7 votes on one side, 7 on one side. He was alone, independent, and he said, look, whoever I back, I have to become Prime Minister. So that is how he ascended to leadership.
But-
there are different paths to leadership.
But hold on. I don't think that Crystal wasn't talking about path to leadership.
Correct.
It was the fact that Simon made a statement where it concerned Tony Moore being in the constituency for this long.
She had
Right, or whatever. It could have been a year, 2 years,
She knew.
donkey years. But they didn't have anybody within, because the Democratic Labour Party to this day fails to announce or bring forth candidates, even though election, hold on, let you talk now. Even though election could be called in 18 months. And none of the person has been selected, elected, or like whatever.
Announced.
Well,
Announced to the public, for the public to know. But you feel that what? Because you got Floyd postering around, it can mean that the next set of people can be postering around like Floyd.
Simon,
That is where Crystal, I believe, was coming from a point of view.
let me respond. You know where your argument in a way falls down, Kimar? If I remember correctly, because
Only you stand up.
No. I actually don't want to stand up on my own. I am going to call on what I saw on CBC.
What?
On the night that it was announced that former member of Parliament Glenn Clark is retiring,
Got rid of
and
Clark,
that he
got
will
rid of
be
Glenn.
made
Pushed him
the
out.
Consul General or Ambassador.
When they get rid of Colin, they say, let's push out Colin.
We did not push out Colin.
High Commissioner. Wait, right. Now hear this, right?
Amount of citizenship.
If I remember
All right,
correctly,
Simon, just ease that a little bit on the DOP rhetoric and let
Let
him
me
speak.
speak. If I
Let
remember-
him go on the DOP rhetoric.
If I remember correctly,
Go ahead, Jermaine.
none other person than the Prime Minister of
Never,
this country,
Corey.
right, announced on national TV that that in the Parliament of Barbados there was some heavy lifting that needed to be done, right? And she also said that she had approached Mrs. Moore about running in the constituency on previous occasions, and Mrs. Moore on previous occasions had said no, and Mrs. Moore only joined, if I remember correctly, the Barbados Labour Party
2 weeks.
a day or
She
something.
said 2 weeks.
No, she didn't say 2 weeks. She
She
didn't say 2
says
weeks.
that she asked in 2 weeks, so she would have
Right.
joined lately because they moved.
Right.
They had to move
Right.
to the
A special
national
resolution and
special
also the
resolution,
national
correct. So
executive
she was not a
council.
member.
Right. So based on what?
But she was still counting.
Hold on, Simon.
She was
Hold on,
talking to the
Simon.
workers.
Simon, hold on.
The ones that she represent, let me go get hot
Based on that statement, right?
Go ahead.
F. Tony Moore joined the Barbados Labour Party approximately 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Thank you.
Right?
You was one
And-
OT.
And
Go ahead,
she
brother.
was able to become a candidate, and then she started canvassing officially 4 or 5 weeks ago. Then I'm just being fair here, right? Floyd Reefer's name came out of the woodworks approximately a week later. So by virtue of what was said on national television, the
Go ahead,
same
brother.
CBC that held a disgraceful debate the other
Horrible debate, a farce.
by virtue of what was said on national television, Tony was out there for 5 weeks and Floyd was out there for 4 weeks. So they're both neck and neck. So
She has a national. So wait,
they're both.
but what is stopping the leader now from bringing more candidates?
What's wrong with more candidates?
No, stop. The thing about it is that what you will realize about Verla De Peace, the president of the Democratic Labour Party,
Which way you running for?
she is not going to allow the Barbados Labour Party
Stop it, no.
to dictate or to direct the affairs of the Democratic Labour Party.
I mean,
Prime Minister that.
but the people is
These
asking.
are DLP
The people
issues.
demanding.
No.
We
These
want
are
to get the
DLP
North candidates.
issues. When I go in St. George North, when I canvass in St. George North, when I knock on doors, when I assist at spot meetings and so on.
Sure.
All right. When I assist, when I go up there and I work,
Ramako.
all people really want to know the questions that you hear about business. So why they get rid of Glenn? That is the question everyone's saying. Why did they get rid of Glenn? If you were saying that Glenn, call it no.
You can't
There were three names that went forward. Listen to me.
Glenn was offered a position.
There were three.
Offered, not
There were three names that came up.
So cool.
Who are the three names?
So cool, Glenn.
It doesn't matter the three names.
It matters.
It matters to you.
It matters to the people of Barbados.
Names that came up,
So,
including Colin Spencer, including Dr. Suku, including Kimar Stewart. The branch made a recommendation of what they wanted. It came to executive.
Simon,
He voted on it.
the rules.
Simon,
No,
you see this,
no,
you see this
listen.
mathematics that you deliver?
It's not mathematics.
That mathematics is flawed because
not flawed.
I have it on
Record.
record.
No, you have it
Lord.
wrong. You have it wrong.
There were
Are you a
DLP
member-
people approach.
Are you a
So if
member
there
of the
are
Democratic
if-
Labour Party?
Hold on.
But I
If
can
you are
approach
counting
anybody.
the people that were considered, you have to add in them BLP people that you thought was
But that's
responsible
fine.
that you approached.
But that is
so then
fine.
it wasn't three
But-
people,
but
which means that Floyd
there
came in
were
at number
three.
what? 6?
Even if you come in at number 6,
We
at
live on
the
the
end of the
approach
day,
you, Crystal.
at the end of the day, the
Crystal.
branch.
I would like to apologize for any lies I went on this
I'm
show.
not telling any lies on this show.
After all, he's a member of the Democratic Party, and they're known for telling lies. What I wanted to add here,
Let me hear.
because
Can I
know
finish
you're
my
not gonna
point
speak.
first?
No.
I
You
didn't finish my
you
point.
spoke, I didn't get to speak yet. You can hold on.
Okay, you go ahead. Let me hear
Because I
this
want
point.
the back.
This salacious.
Get back to where
This
we all
salacious
are.
talk.
And I would like to
Democracy.
say, hold on.
Don't
I would like to say
no, I can handle
that
myself.
Somebody's kill
Simon,
you.
when you spoke at the top of the show, because Michelle Taylor, who spelled my name incredibly wrong, is saying that I'm being biased. I want to state for the fact, and she can go back and watch, that when it was your turn to speak, no rhetoric was being interjected to support or oppose what you're saying. But now everybody else is having their points which are different to yours, whether rational or irrational.
I'm listening,
You're
I'm
not
listening.
giving anybody the
I
chance
know.
to speak.
I am. I'm
He's
giving
passionate
chance.
on campaign.
No, I am giving
Campaigning.
chance to
You
speak.
need,
Go ahead.
you need to
I am
stop
not stopping
canvassing for
anybody.
2 minutes
Hold on,
and
I
hear
am
a
not
different
canvassing.
view.
Simon, how you look at that?
You want to win the St. George's people on here.
St. George North.
Florifa is the best
Choice.
choice
Only
for
better.
St. George North based upon the Democratic Labour Party.
Yes.
And although I may think that FE is the best choice for St. George North, in other constituencies,
I
he
just
may
don't
probably
want-
be the last choice. Florifa as a professional cricketer, let me look at his
Man.
profession. And
I will also
he
talk
was-
about the
Hold on, let me speak,
representation
Simon,
of
let
the
me
union.
speak, let me
I will
speak.
also talk
Let me
about the
speak.
union representation
Go ahead,
in
go
the
ahead.
last 2 years.
Go ahead, Andy, man.
Go ahead.
He,
You
no,
go
but
ahead.
he got a point. He can talk about it too.
Simon Florifa has been the coach, and we're talking the highest level of the West Indies cricket team.
Yeah.
West Indies cricket team, just before he was selected as coach,
Interim
we had
coach.
a Mr. Playbus that just won a series against England.
Speebus.
And if
It's
you could check
Speebus.
back and see when last the West Indies win any series. Also, we came very close in winning the ODI series with England. And we have Mr. Florifa that took over the position as head coach. And then West Indies has failed tremendously after
That's not
those
true.
triumphs.
That's not true.
They has-
They
that
actually
failed.
they won a game or two under him when he was coach.
A game, I'm talking about a series.
I like to be fair.
Yeah, they won a game.
I don't think they won a series.
That does not speak to his political ability.
Hold on. I didn't get there yet.
Hold on.
We have a series, right,
Sorry, BLP.
of 3 matches in
BLP.
the test series, and you win 1 out of 3. At the end of the day, you still fail. Just before we actually won a whole entire series.
So the
Yeah,
man.
hold on.
You're like the first
Hold on.
coach or captain to lose.
Let me speak.
I don't know.
Okay.
Just speak.
So Brian Laura lost.
All I can bring back now,
Don't let
right,
me get it.
is that in his profession, he failed as coach of the West Indies team.
So did Brian Lara.
Now we're going to break
So did Jimmy Adams.
Bring it out, feel as
So
well.
did
Captain did all series. Courtney Walsh.
Hold on, let me get you point though quickly.
Hold on.
let
So
me-
all them feel too.
But you,
Alright,
you,
let me get you point now.
you want to know what you're talking nonsense?
Wait.
I'm speaking to as Floyd as a head coach, and you're talking about blasted well players. Jimmy Adams was a captain. He was a player. Barry Adams was a captain.
Jimmy
he
Adams was also the
Floyd
coach.
Reefer was a coach.
Jimmy Adams-
get it in your blasted head. He was a coach.
All right,
Manager of the
guys,
West Indies.
we can't
He
shout.
lost the
You
series,
better cut
by the
your
way,
language.
brother.
Hold on, a manager do not coach a
I
team,
understand. I
Jeremy.
made the point.
Get your
Make the
facts
point.
straight.
Fair enough. The man
I'm
was
talking
the
about
point.
Floyd Reefer as a coach.
What is the
he
point
has
about
failed in
Floyd?
his profession. So now we can bring
Can you play
Floyd.
cricket?
Man,
Jeremy, I'm sorry to interrupt now.
hold on. So now we can bring Floyd. That failed as a head coach of West Indies cricket team. And want Chahi inside Parliament as the leader of opposition, probably.
And probably
This is
head of
best
the
that
public
you all
affairs
have to
committee.
bring.
But
Second,
what you're saying to me
Wait,
then?
wait,
What
wait.
you're saying to me then?
you're bringing a weak
You're
candidate to be our
you're being
If you assume
elitist.
that he can win.
You are being elitist, and you sound just like Mr. Bradshaw, who said that any idiot can play cricket.
Simon.
That is exactly how you
Simon,
sound.
I have a trick question.
No,
I got-
I have a trick question for you.
Hold on.
That's not
Hold on.
saying
Can I go
You're
play for the
comment-
West Indies women's
you're-
cricket
you
team?
Just don't
You
say
are
I demand
commenting-
it.
Any idiot can
What you
coach.
are saying,
But Floyd has done it
Floyd
on the field.
Reefer is one of the
But
shining.
and he was
But
successful.
hold on.
Floyd
sorry.
Reefer is
Yeah.
one of the shining lights of St. George North. He came
Simon.
from St. George North. He
Calm
grew
down,
up in
Greg.
St. George North. You are saying then that this young man who presented himself to us, who said, you know what, I'm going to put aside my contract to New Zealand.
He's 48 years old, baby.
I'm going to put aside my contract
Yeah,
to
that's
play
the end, yeah.
international cricket or to
Yeah,
coach internationally to serve the people of St. George North.
You hear that anymore?
It's a shame.
He's not leaving.
It's a shame.
He is not leaving no, because
Floyd he would have made a bad decision going up on that tour and being a bad coach.
Floyd
But you just said they might have
Floyd believes.
Yes, he is.
So why would he make a better decision by going to say
Because he got better chances of getting that job which he was given than to get the job right now as member of parliament.
You are being elitist. Then again, if Faber can get the nomination, neither Kevin Rowe.
You mean with the DLP?
With the Barbados Labour Party, who are, that's the thing, they are
Listen,
homegrown St.
y'all
George
shouting
North
too much.
persons.
Shouting too much.
Sorry,
Shouting
folks.
too much.
So
They are homegrown St. George North people. The whole issue is the whole rhetoric that came from the Barbados Labour Party platform saying that there's a political elite that deserves to lead Barbados and represent people, and there's some that should not represent people.
Right.
Are you
So,
saying then that because a man, as a cricket coach, failed or not, born in St. George North,
Not
known as the people, known by the people in St. George North,
Because he was a
who
cricket
puts up his hand and says, I want to be of service to the people in my constituency. When the water off by them, it off by me. When the light off by them, it off by me. When the garbage in can collect, when the garbage in can collect in St. George North, it off by me. He is not on WhatsApp. Because I heard a comment that really disturbed me. Miss Moore said on the platform, the Barbados Labour Party.
Using
She said, the young man has to be the eyes and the ears for her
So
in
Floyd
St.
Reefer
George
decide
North.
that all of a sudden on the blue he will represent people. Floyd Reefer decide that all of a sudden after being a
Let me bring it back home.
Guys.
Let me bring it back.
I just have a question.
Let me bring it back.
I
I want to ask one question before you. Hold on. I am of the belief, right?
He's a quality young
Hold on.
man.
I am of the belief.
You already know I believe though. You said I believe.
He's a quality young man.
I believe, right, that
November 11th, he will be voted in.
Unfortunately, right, I think my brethren here, Simon, will make a very fine candidate for the Democratic Party. But unfortunately, Simon seems to be not the best person for St. Philip. It's not.
I can't recall.
It's not.
All right, hold on. Let me ask you a question. Here, though. My belief though is that under no
As heard in a
circumstances,
rum shop.
like under no circumstances do I believe that you have to be from a certain political class or from a certain
Because you will never get a chance to
level.
do that nobody homeless. Any idiot can run a homeless. Any idiot can run a homeless place.
Well, any
Any idiot can run a homeless shelter.
But anyway, I'm gonna- I want to say, I just want to finish my statement, right? Sorry, we got a lot to show. Anyhow, I do believe, right, that any leaders are pulled from anywhere, any sector, any form of life, because we could go back to saying that the great Nelson Mandela was a prisoner.
Correct. He's a prisoner. He's
So at the end of the day,
Simon, somebody just said we need to stop talking over each other.
I'm
You're
sorry.
Yeah,
the
sorry.
chief
Hey,
culprit.
Jeremy, listen, but
Oh my goodness.
I don't mind.
I'm
Tonight,
sorry.
I'm trying to be.
But-
I'm
I'm a
trying
little-
to be.
you know what? I feel like hot even though it's blue coat. But
Guys,
here
we
though.
need to be measured in our contributions
I'm
because
This is good, you know. This is good, robust, and he probably ain't get to
no, but
he's
there's,
paid for a lot, so
there's
he
good
can be
and
off.
there's overdue,
I'm
and we
sorry.
overdoing it.
I'm very sorry.
No,
But anyway, sorry, I want to finish. I want to finish. I want to
Is that
finish.
this
Wait,
by
let
election?
Jaffrey finish.
All right, wait,
Let
finish,
Jaffrey
Kimmer.
finish.
Right,
No,
I'm
but
saying-
after him it's me.
Yeah.
Not let me.
So listen.
It could be anybody else after
And
me.
listen, so I am of the belief that we can't just look at and I don't like the elitist rhetoric about
Pedigree, man.
you gotta come from this or you gotta come from
You's
that.
a cousin of
No,
this
I'm
person.
of the belief
Simon.
I'm of the belief though that your professional career plays key critical role to the government because the government, in my opinion, and based on what I've been seeing,
Jeremy C.
is not
endorsing.
is not looking at Tony Moore as from an elitist standpoint, but because of the heavy lifting that the Prime Minister keep mentioning,
What heavy lifting?
would make and is an ideal person to bring on. Now, I also I do not oppose Floyd. I do not oppose anybody. It could be Ninja Man.
No, we don't go in that. We're not going that.
No,
So when Jamal can't be a candidate?
listen, everyone.
You be elitist now, Simon?
Simon, you are ridiculous. You talk,
You elitist now, Simon?
Talk,
The
Christian.
floor is mine.
Yes, please.
Go and after her,
I will not be sharing the floor,
Go ahead.
man. Go ahead, man.
so don't get in my way. Let me make my point.
Yes, steamroller.
And I know that this guy left early, so let me get my little 2 cents.
Well, the long left now.
First things first, Jeremy Stephen, if you got a piece of land in St. Philip West, you want to sell at $2 a square foot, give me a holler, because I will vote for you. And Corey Worrell, that is why I am here. If that is how many start across start, that's why
That's
I'm
how we do
here,
it. That's
to
how we do
bring
it.
the
That's
balance,
how we do
baby.
it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Talk to us, mother.
So, I wanted to ask Simon, very tongue-in-cheek, can I go and play for the West Indies women team? I was a candidate in the last election.
Yes.
I believe
Yes.
that by rights, I grew up in a house that had an outside bathroom at some stage.
Oh Lord. Go Crystal.
And I am very sure that I am nobody cousin of note.
Once you go past the trials. That's all you flicker.
So by
Getting on these
rights,
electronics.
by rights of your shoddy calculation and deduction, I should be able to play for the West Indies team. And I want to open the batting too.
DeAndre
You
don't
can
think we
try.
got a creative anything else?
I want
pass
to
trials.
open the batting too.
You have to pass trials.
I ain't coming in as the number 11. Don't mind. People like Bess would have shown you that you could score big runs and do big works at 11. I want to bat at number 1.
Yes.
Because in the same vein, Reefer gone to the top of the line in the DLP.
How?
I was never
In
even a
St.
member.
George North,
Was never even a member.
was never even a member.
Please
and
don't
from
quote
what,
me.
Yes, sir, for the year that
No,
he's
no,
supposed to serve
Simon,
for.
Simon.
if we are going, I tell when already,
go
I
there.
tell when already, I ain't sharing this here, so don't let me go
I
up out the
say that
next
in-
boat in here.
I will say
Yes.
this out.
Listen to what I tell you.
Let me
Here,
respond
here,
to that.
misogyny. I don't put the line in still, please. I beg one of you.
Aye.
Listen to what
I'm
I'm
ready for
saying.
you, though.
Don't be a pooty cat though here.
Interrupt, but let her continue.
I only
She
be
has
a,
her second
if
program
it's a
to
cat,
do.
I gotta be a big cat. I
Don't
gotta
be
be a
bald-
puma
don't be
or
bald,
tiger.
or cougar. Continue. Or cougar.
Wanna make me forget what you're saying?
Not we.
Priscilla, will you be a candidate in next election?
Floyd Reefer was not be. So, that was
No,
after.
okay,
That was
you're right.
after. That was after.
Reefer
That was
applied.
after. Court
Floyd
reward.
Reefer
got
went
none.
to the top of the line.
He was chosen by the
Simon.
people.
No, here,
Darling.
Tune,
Simon,
right? Here,
let her
Tune. You have been spouting a lot of rhetoric for the whole
Sure.
show. So let me throw some rhetoric in there. It is alleged, not by me, even though I live in the constituency, by other people in this constituency of St. George North,
Yeah, you should be getting support.
that they do not know Floyd Reefer, that he is in their age group, and they don't know Floyd Reefer, that they hear he just drive this black truck, but as far as they know,
BMW.
it is a truck that the windows always up and it tint. There is also a rumor Let me make sure I don't get
Help the
sued.
body.
Let
Is
me
that
make
what
sure
we're
that I
doing now?
don't get
Spreading
sued.
rumors on a show?
Let her speak.
There
please.
is a well, if you
rumor?
could come in here with your re-argumentation, they could bring rumors.
No, man,
There is a
no,
rumor
Kurt
that the
Humphrey
first
and
time he
Chicago
ever played,
members too.
the first time he ever played at Sheffield was during this election. Even
Okay,
though
11.
even though he has family that play for that club,
Oh, you make 11.
there is also a rumor
Relevance, Miss
that
Austin.
he has not done anything in the constituency by way of community development or empowerment of the people. Of how do you respond to that as somebody who is in the party with him and close to him
Close.
and can give us
Definitely.
the horse's view? Because ultimately, the people of St. George North, don't let me even go to the people of Barbados. The people of St. George North deserve to hear deserve to hear the truth to these questions.
Definitely.
Because if you're going to say that, what nobody ain't see Tony Moore, neither Tony Moore from St. John? Why would they
Clearly.
see Tony Moore?
That's clear. For
You
sure.
can choose St. John, though, to get
For sure.
Even
That
though
is a fact. That is
her
a
father
fact.
has a church in Woburn that she would
that's
have
fine. That's
been
fine.
Grown up in.
involved
He's a
in and
good man,
grown up
though.
in,
Her dad is a good guy.
at least she has some kind
Excuse.
of excuse to be in the constituency. She
Canvassing, yes.
she has a marginal connection vicariously through her dad, who was a pastor for
The
20
Republican
years.
is not a connection.
Hold on. He has been in the constituency as a resident for all these donkeys years. Where is the evidence
Well,
of his
Community.
community
Before
community
someone asks
expertise
something,
or
Sure.
or even an appetite
For sure.
to serve the people?
Fine.
Before you
Can you pull up- can you pull up his
To
profile?
add what Crystal said though.
Sure.
Is it
It was also said, Crystal,
Alleged.
during
Alleged.
the campaign. No.
Uh-huh.
I ain't worrying about the alleged. That's factual information I'm bringing
Okay.
to Simon.
Listen, we don't want to get
You
sued.
go
here.
on. You
No.
Don't let Safi run for a
Also
statement
said,
after.
Crystal, that during this current campaign, within the last couple of weeks, that he had visited specific shops. And one particular shop owner had said that he had an entourage of about 9 or 10 persons. And they were sitting there, they didn't patronize the shop by
That's
buying
not true.
food.
They have a budget. They're given a budget.
They didn't
for
buy.
each shop.
They
That's
didn't buy
Oh,
a drink
alright.
even for
Simon's
the
got a
bill.
budget.
Simon, the reason why that I can
not
say
so.
this.
Were you there?
Simon,
Jeremy?
Were you there?
yes.
You can come and sit on that.
You were you there?
Yes.
Were you there?
Yes.
But
Were you
Simon,
there?
Yes, I
hold
was.
on. I want you.
Simon,
Hold on.
please, I beg you, stop lying on this show.
But hold on. I want you to.
Stop representing the
But what-
Democratic Party as a liar.
But hold on, Simon.
I want you to answer.
I want to hear
Hold on. I want to
Thank
answer
you.
Chris's question.
I would gladly do that.
But
Uh-huh.
You know that in the last election, you like to put on that you the Prime Minister, Richard. She like when you put on you slow right there. Read this here for me.
That's fine. I want to kneel roll first.
Right, hold on.
I want to kneel roll first.
Listen,
Simon,
listen.
Simon,
I want to kneel
Simon,
over first.
Simon,
No.
I will not sit
Don't
down
let
in
it-
this show.
Yo,
I
sorry,
allow
Simon,
y'all
you.
to do the assaulting. No, I can say,
Sure.
I can say this.
No, let me speak.
Don't
Let me
do that.
speak. That's all right. Let me speak.
Let me speak. Let me speak.
Listen,
Let me speak.
I want you to read that there.
No,
Tell me.
no,
hold on.
Kumar. No,
Simon,
Kumar. No,
ask him-
Kumar.
ask
Let me
him
speak.
question.
No,
Ask him.
Simon,
Let me hear.
before,
I
no,
don't
Simon,
know.
you shut up.
You
Let me
can
speak.
get
Simon,
No, I want to hear
but you want
Jermaine.
defense.
Let me speak.
Simon, ask the
No, let him talk.
Hold
It's
on,
hot.
Jermaine.
Let Jermaine talk.
Hold on, Jermaine.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's hot
There are
today.
things
Go ahead.
I will not condone. I'll tell
I
you the reason
agree.
why. I'll tell you the reason why.
Don't come
I
and bring
was
on the
born.
storyline.
No. I have to bring storyline.
But Jeremy,
I was
nobody care about
born-
when he was born.
Yeah.
You have 10 times
We are not
Let
Jeremy.
me speak.
Let me speak, man. I was born in poor
Ladies and
circumstances.
gentlemen, this is where you sleep.
I was born in a
Go ahead.
house
I got
in
back in the
Jamaica
No, I'm muted.
where the house had a dirt floor.
No, I wasn't installing reading skills. I was trying to match Simon as a man.
Hold on. I came to Barbados.
But Jeremy,
Just listen to me.
but when you came, when you
Oh,
got
give him a chance.
That's not dealing with nothing
No,
else.
I have
No,
to say this.
he's
I have to
offended.
say
Let
this.
him man
I have
speak
to
his
say
mind.
this.
Wait, how about
I have to
Jamaica
say
too?
this.
But let him
I
explain
have
his
to say this.
experience.
I have to say this.
Let him say
You
it.
got
That's the
two
problem. That's the
minutes.
problem.
Guys, come
Y'all
on.
wanna get-
Let him say it
Y'all
now.
want to get
Listen, guys, we are losing viewers because of the cross
Let me
talking. Come
talk.
on.
Let
Jeremy,
him talk.
nobody
Let
really
me
care about where you
talk.
come
Give him a
from.
minute. Give him a
Let me
minute. Go
talk,
ahead. Go
man.
ahead.
You want a candidate?
Let me talk.
Give him a minute
Let
now.
me talk.
Before you clearly thought.
Let me talk.
Go ahead, my best
I
friend.
came to Barbados
Go ahead, sir.
under poor circumstances. I lived in Gall Hill in a government rental unit. We were sharing a house with a family. We moved to Caneville to share a room. You understand? Things were rough. We moved to Silver Hill and got a government unit. So during my tenure in Silver Hill, my time in Silver Hill, it was very rough. There were days I didn't have anything to eat. I am to date in my family the only person that has a degree from the University of West Indies. I am the only person in my family today in Barbados and Jamaica who has become a professional person. And the reason why I'm going down that line is because all of the persons within my family, and I can say this openly, if you give them a speech to read just like what you just tried to do there, and the Barbados Labour Party and other political persons have been doing in Barbados by criticizing a man because he don't speak straight, right?
So again, I just want your view. I said to Simon. I don't want you to.
Guys,
No,
this is a
let me
Facebook
see.
I don't want
live
Jermaine to
show.
take my cut. Hold on, Jermaine. I get your point.
I take it as
Jermaine,
because if you take
I said to
that speech
Simon-
and you give to my mother to read,
Oh, dear.
or you give it to my sister, or you give it to my uncle or anybody in my family, they would have the same issue. And for you or anybody in Barbados to sit down and read and look on people like that because of that, it is offensive to the level.
I said to Simon,
Don't repeat
I want you to act like the person, not to demean it. So don't you the thing is you all want to take it out of context. I don't mean it
No,
to
it feels hurt. I'm sorry, but
be hurt.
But let's no.
right, go ahead.
Let's be real. Let's be real. And I'm also gonna answer Crystal's question.
Go ahead.
And it's wrong. I will apologize. I don't mean to make.
Yeah, our podcast is not.
No, I seriously don't.
Yeah,
because
it was just
Floyd can read. Floyd can read, and his public speaking
You're
has
bothering the
improved.
Nero?
And I'm doing that now. Yes,
Oh,
I might
okay.
not do
I didn't
that.
even say his name.
Right, Nero. I apologize for making any fun of Nero. I know he had. And
Thank
Nero can
you.
read, and Nero can
Thank
speak.
you very much.
It's just that the pronunciation had him. He was reading very good. That's
that?
all. On the day of the swearing in ceremony. So yes. So now we're past that.
Yeah.
What I want to say to you, Crystal, when we look at politics in Barbados, having prior community engagement or doing prior community work is not a prerequisite for any person to run for any political party.
Okay,
It was
fair enough.
rightfully said by Jeremy Stevens is when the person can resonate with the residents. Whether or not we like it, and the thing about I'll be fair right now. If you had to do a poll with regards to who's more popular, who might be ahead in the St. George North by-election, it clearly would be Tony Moore. As I said before, she has I just say on this program, I've said to people, she has the red machine behind her. She has the election winning
And she was the general
machine
secretary, so she had to
behind
follow
her.
it.
All right, but what I am saying, what we cannot discount or discredit is the ground that Floyd Reefer, a very new person to politics, and that's the reason why Vernon de Pisa and the executive of the Democratic Labour Party chose someone who is not tainted, who is not seen as part of the old guard or the establishment of politics to run and represent the people of St. George North. It was not done willy-nilly. We had the choice of Colin Spencer. And what I want to say too is that Colin Spencer has been instrumental to the campaign of Floyd Reefer. Colin has been assisting with the campaigning and setting up the spot meetings and so on. So nobody was put aside, nobody was pushed aside. What I will say is this, that the people of St. George North, they have a very serious decision to make. And come November 11th, I've been a Democratic Labour Party supporter, and understanding the direction that we want to take Barbados, and understanding that we need a voice in the House of Assembly. My appeal, can I continue?
Sorry, I just want to ask a question for now. I pick up our words. You are saying that.
But wait, Kimari,
Hold on.
he just said that. He just said that the members from the old guard are tainted.
I'm
And
not-
that's- and
I
that's
didn't
why-
hear that.
I never said that.
No, he said that. He said
No,
that.
I
He
heard-
said that they didn't select any tainted old guard
I
members.
never said that.
But you said,
Sorry, you said that?
say later.
What I said is that we selected someone who is not a part of the political machinery,
That's not tainted.
who is not seen as part of the old guard, the new guard, or any kind of political.
So let me ask, the question I asked Simon, because I heard you said a magical word in there.
What is
you
that?
said the magical word is that we don't have a voice in Parliament. It seems like the Democratic Party is so desirous of having
It's
a
not
voice
us. When
in
I
Parliament.
say we, I mean the people of Barbados.
But does the people of Barbados want the Democratic Party to vote them out?
The
I
people
just
in
asking the
St.
question.
George North would want, in my opinion, someone that they believe that can articulate and fight for their behalf.
I agree.
And you think that Floyd can do that more so
I
better
do
than
believe,
Floyd?
I do believe that Floyd Reefer, not being a part of the government and having to be on the opposition, would have to speak to the issues that are affecting the people in St. George North.
So why can't Tony speak to it if it's...
I am not
why
saying that
can't
Tony
Glenn
Moore
Clark
can't
speak
say
to
that.
it? Why can't Alex Mitchell speak to it?
Like, I
just asking all these people.
I believe that Floyd Reefer, based on the popularity and how he's resonating on the ground with people, people trust Floyd Reefer. People are willing to
So they
give
don't
a
trust
new
Floyd?
man.
So
I'm not
Simon,
saying that. I'm
Simon.
saying people may have a lack of confidence in Tony because for the past 2 years, with all that is going on with Labour in Barbados, we have not heard Akani McDowell. We have not heard Tony
We
Moore.
didn't hear to Fonda Stewart.
Did we hear
didn't
Tony a couple weeks
And
ago?
right, we didn't hear
So-
from the Stewart and from the Stewart and
let's-
the last administration were voted out.
Right.
They were totally voted out. So clearly now the people of Barbados want fresh voices and fresh faces.
But this vote for you and
Democratic
Floyd,
vote.
this thing with for you and Floyd, in my belief, is just a confidence level. In my humble belief, I don't believe that the Democratic Labour Party sees so much of a value in Floyd.
We do.
I believe that the
We
fact
chose
that
him, we do.
no, hold on. Let me put it. The fact that he was chosen the way he was chosen after whatever much
He wrote
deliberation.
the letter to the party.
Yes,
he
but
was
Simon, let
interviewed.
Kumar
But
speak.
let me
The
If
process
you
is simple.
But no,
He was
Simon,
interviewed
Simon.
like everybody else.
So,
Simon.
Like the branch in the St.
Simon.
George North.
But if I
DLP.
can
Hold
finish,
on.
but
He was interviewed, and then the report was done on the interviews. It was brought to executive debate, discussion,
Simon, you
and
said
voting.
all that already on the
yeah,
show.
but
Please let
Simon,
Kumar contribute.
remember it was said here that the man was not a member of the party, nor he was not anything to do with any party. I understand he came in.
Yes.
Rules had to be amended because you have to serve a year
The
within your
Constitution was
party.
amended for Kay McConney as well as Mr. Adams.
Fine. I have no.
The Constitution of Barbados was
I
amended
have
for them.
no disagreement with that. But at the end of the day, right?
But
I'm
you-
just saying to you that the Democratic Labour Party is parading Floyd around because it is alleged that Floyd being in government, right, is not the key person that they want in government.
Who
It
they
is the
want?
key person that if it becomes the opposition, it is that Verla de Pease and a certain person will become senators. And I heard, and the fight will be between Joe and whatever to give Verla Peace up in there. It is alleged, and I'm saying that it's not about Floyd. It is about
Let's
others.
be real. No,
Yes,
it's about
let's be
Floyd.
real.
First of all, it's not about Floyd.
Talk to me.
It's not about Verla because, as I said earlier,
Verla's not
that
right.
because
I'm
right,
gonna come in
people
here
were
after.
asked why Verla de Pease
I-
was not selected or did not want to run for St. George North to make it a female head-on. That is not what this is about. It is about choosing a homegrown person from St. George North who lives in the
Why it has to be
constituency.
homegrown?
We believe that a
Why?
person who lives in the
How much
constituency.
MPs live in the area?
But
How
Simon,
much MPs
yeah,
live in the area?
Simon,
I know.
Dear Marshall say he
I
represents St.
understand
George,
that
but he
he
lives
has
in
done
St.
it.
George North.
I know that, and he has done his best in St.
Is it
Joseph.
also because Verla de Pisa is going to run in St. Lucie?
My
Is that
president,
head is yes?
my president will announce when she is ready. The team or the cadre of persons that will be for the various.
I come in here from
constituencies.
Jeremy Stephen.
Yes,
Jeremy
Jeremy.
has said the biggest mistake
What, any
that
comment,
the LP
please?
have made
Uh-huh.
is to present a campaign which comes across as separate from the actions of the last administration. The wounds are too fresh.
I
So
understand.
fresh, faces are
I can feel it in my mouth
smart,
all now.
but I strongly believe that a campaign that criticizes win over voters like myself who have no allegiance. All parties need to recognize. Hold on a minute.
And good night to you, Jeremy Stephen.
Right, need to
Up and
recognize
over.
that voters are very mercenary nowadays.
Right.
So I want to also add to that
Yes, please.
is that you mentioned about Floyd representing St. George North in Parliament. So you're saying to me that Floyd would only be in Parliament to represent St. George North?
Well, if
And
you're
he
a
will-
member of parliament,
He can't represent anything else?
And he will not put any positive light into the discussions going on in
You
Parliament.
gotta reply to estimates.
but-
You gotta reply
He
to.
may
he
very
can-
well be the head of the Public Accounts Committee.
he can do that.
He can do all that?
He can do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand
Of all
ages.
that it's not about Floyd. But yes, Floyd is an all-rounder.
You know you're
But
a
what I'm
batsman.
saying
He's
to
a
you,
batsman. Get your facts straight. He's a batsman. Stop lying, Simon.
Thank you, the money.
He play all over.
Floyd is a political all-rounder. What I'm saying to you,
Yo, my point there,
what
Tony.
what I'm saying to you
You're a
is this.
political all-rounder.
Yes, I can. I can back, ball, feel everything.
Uh-uh.
But what I'm saying to you, don't let me go act up again. What I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen,
Of all ages.
the thing about it is that Floyd would have a team. You are not just, and that's the thing about it. When you're elected to parliament, you just don't walk in there by yourself.
I agree.
You have a team of advisors. You
Joe
have
too.
economists.
Joe too.
I know that.
Grandma too. You never see that?
Yeah, Grenville would have his advisors. But what I'm saying to you,
I saw Grenville
no one
today.
needs to worry about if Floyd Reefer can rebut or he can speak to the budget or the estimates. He will be able to, when he sits down with his team, they go
Which
through.
team is this? You can share us?
He will determine the team that he wants
He
to
will learn.
execute.
He will learn it in a few weeks.
Guys,
You will learn, I will learn for the job.
He
You
will
will learn for the job.
Professionals and learn over the past over a
He
couple
will
of
be
years.
advised.
He will learn in a few
No,
weeks.
Floyd will be advised by those
Simon,
professionals.
I want to add something here.
He'll be advised by those
Wait,
professionals.
before you take, how you like to make
No,
long
no,
speeches?
no,
I have
she gotta
to
leave,
leave.
she gotta leave,
Wait, hold
she
on,
gotta
I
leave.
have to
Let she
leave,
finish.
so let me make my little 2-second
Yeah, you go.
insertion
You get 2 minutes
before you
one.
make your 2-hour one.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
want to say that, and this is me again trying to be the neutral
The
and
voice of
objective
reasoning?
voice of reason on
That's
this
your main
panel.
job.
I want to say that I've heard it said, and it was said on this show as well, that one of the things that is concerning is that there may very well be an election within the next 18 months and nobody can really see who the DLP is bringing. For the sake of the psychological
She right next to me, she good.
for the sake of the psychological comfort of Barbadians who are accustomed to having an opposition, it is everybody's desire, whether you wear a red shirt, a green shirt, a yellow shirt, everybody wants the Democratic Labour Party to rally. Everybody is rooting for you all from the perspective that when we have a strong opposition or two strong parties in the parliamentary democracy that we are accustomed to, things resonate better with us. We sleep better at night, right? So I believe that what's going to happen is that depending on the way how this by-election goes, if, let's say, for example, Floyd were to be so fortunate to win, or even if he loses by a small majority, by process of deduction, members of the party who may be interested in running but have been hush-hush about it would have an incentive to now come out and push. So from that perspective, I can understand why the announcement of the candidates at this point in time is not has not taken
Right,
place
while
as
the
yet.
election is going on.
Similarly, having a by-election at this time, and I don't know what's the general reasoning. It may very well be that despite what everybody's saying, that Glenn genuinely wanted to step away from elective politics and go into something else. It could have just been his succession planning or whatever, who knows. But from the perspective of a political strategist, having a by-election at this stage is an opportune time to test the waters to see the extent to which you need to go back to the drawing board, refresh your strategy, strengthen in what areas, etc. So I believe that on both sides of the coin, from the DLP and the BLP perspective, this by-election is a very useful exercise. Yes, it's a useful test run from a political strategist perspective.
Agree.
And
We agree.
and I want to leave on that point.
Yes.
Well said,
Can I-
Crystal.
Bye, Chris.
Thank you.
Jeffrey, I am trying to control the show, but they won't let me. I just
Sorry, I
let you
just want to
know.
say, let ladies apologize. It got heated.
It is election. It is
Yeah,
war.
I think that-
Every show don't be like this. So
I'm sure don't be like this.
give us an excuse for tonight
Yeah,
because
those,
it is election. We got B here, we got D here. Aki was supposed to be here, but have an emergency, and it would probably be more hotter with he on here. So
Alright.
we got farmer UPP.
Good night, Barbados.
Good night,
Good night,
Crystal.
Crystal.
Good night, panel.
Like us.
Thanks so much for
Blessings
your
and love,
contribution.
everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
Somebody said I want to talk.
Make me worse tomorrow.
Somebody said I wanted to talk about Tony credibility to represent the people of St. John North and extension Barbados in whole. Keep referring to Floyd.
Let me.
Floyd will learn. Oh shoot! Sorry, my bad. I pushed the wrong button. Floyd will learn what it takes to become a great politician. Yes.
Right. So.
Push that sure.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you back.
Sorry,
You back.
hold on.
Camera, sorry, it's fixed, but we ahead of them, so they will learn.
Sorry, guys.
We ahead
Right,
of them.
so what I wanted to say is,
Come closer.
I was listening to your point. I think the man you were saying about Floyd would have to respond to the budget in Parliament. If I remember
And
correctly,
many other things, obviously.
and many other things, right? You also Crystal made a point when she was here that he would possibly have to be the leader of the Public Accounts Committee if
Possibly.
he were to become the opposition leader in Barbados, right? Now, I want to say this. In 2017, if I remember correctly, our current Prime Minister, who was the then leader of the opposition, she replied to the budget debate with a 20-minute speech. and put the Democratic Labour Party in a tizzy because they expected that when Chris Singley came with a 3-hour long speech,
She would come with
that
three.
Miss Motley would come with 3 hours and then they would go out debate. When Miss Motley came with a 20-minute speech, then the other members of Parliament had to take a slack. I am saying that in this vein to make the point that at current there are 30 members of Parliament, well 29 now, right?
30 members of Parliament,
well,
but
they're-
29 BLP
right,
members.
Right, so at current there are 28 members of Parliament who are of the Barbados Labour Party, 1 member of Parliament who identifies as PDP, which is Joe Attlee. Right, and then
One
there's
speaker.
right, and no, then they got the vacant seat that Glenn Clark has just left.
Yeah.
Right, so if Tony Moore wins it or Floyd River wins it,
Or
somebody.
Solutions, or Alex.
Well, I discredit.
I just
Greg,
put in
but
there.
No.
I
right?
added them because
Right.
people say they got value.
Okay,
I agree,
but
I agree.
if Tony or Floyd wins it, they both would have to respond to the budget debate,
course.
right?
Sure.
The reality is this, right? And I want to make this point very clear. We are sitting here and following the rhetoric as laid out by seasoned politicians. That a person who enters Parliament must be able to talk good and all this sort of foolishness. The reality is this: you're going in there to represent the interests of the people of the constituency of St. George North.
That's primary. That's
You're
the
not.
primary
Let me
purpose.
speak, Simon.
Go ahead.
You're not going in there to be the spokesperson for the Sir Optimist Club or Kiwanis or Toastmasters or anybody. You're going in there to represent the interests of the people of St. George North. Regardless of if you can speak well, eloquent, or not speak at all, the persons in that constituency have made their decision. Whatever decision the people in St. George North make, whether we like it or not, it has to be accepted. When that person goes into the House of Parliament, their job is to raise issues that affect the people of St. George North and, in part, add their voice or the voice of the people of St. George North to the discourse of national debate in this country on issues which ultimately will affect the people of St. George North.
Correct.
As I have said before, I could care less if Mr. Reefer could speak good or if he can't speak good. People have said all sort of things about Mrs. Moore, but if Miss Moore wins the seat, they have to put all that behind them and they have to allow her to go in there and do the heavy lifting.
That's it.
Right? And you know, I want to add this, right? The same way that Tony Moore is needed in the House of Parliament to do heavy lifting, then Floyd Reefer, by extension, could say that he is needed in Parliament to do heavy lifting as well. Right? So
But the thing on that, but that ain't affect me. And the thing on this though, Jermaine, is that the only part I don't agree with you on was the part where you say that Floyd is not in Parliament to represent the country. The mere fact that the Democratic Labour Party would only have one candidate in Parliament means he will be the representation of Barbados for the Democratic Labour Party, because he would have to speak on issues surpassing that of thing. Because let's say they brought a bill today to deal with water wars, he has to reply today,
and he will sit with his team of advisors.
So you can't say that he would, because he don't have anybody with him to say he could be like some and don't speak. He would have to be speaking on every issue,
and there's no,
because just to say that he would not be just representing the interests, because Joe does not represent the interests of Just Christchurch, wherever he would say Mecca West. He has to represent the interests of the country, and the Public Account Committee represent the country's interests. So we have to that. But we want to just stop for a while because we just want to give you some update on the because we're talking about election, U.S. elections. So vote counting right now is going on. Yes, and so far Indiana is coming in. Donald Trump is leading at 120 votes, 52%. The vote is still counting. He's leading in Indiana. Joe Biden is leading in vote count in Kentucky. He's 44.5% ahead of the vote, so he's getting there. Another vote is coming in. Donald Trump is leading in vote counting in New Hampshire. So just know it's not. So far Donald Trump is leading at 53%. Well, overall in the votes coming in. Please note, vote is still counting, and these are just states that have already called. The other parties so far, the Libertarian Party is at 1.3% of the vote. and other candidates are 0.3% of the vote. So we are tracking the latest here as well. There's no declared winner of any state. So these are just votes that are coming in preliminary.
And just to add,
so we'll let you know.
Is 123,624 votes for Donald Trump and 105,934 votes for Joe Biden, which is less than 20,000 votes.
Right.
And that's nothing.
Right. So votes is it's still early.
But it's
so
going to be a close
it's a tight race. It's a fight. But are we finished with the Barbados election?
No, we're not finished.
No,
We
so
didn't speak about the debate as yet, though.
the debate. Simon.
These people are.
No, let me get the debate. Simon, what you thought about? What you thought about the debate?
Yeah, I want to add though. You recall, Simon wasn't here. When Mr. Phillips, Grandma Phillips was here, he had mentioned that there was a meeting regarding the debate. Verla, the PZ representative for Arifa, and the other representatives for UPP or what's not. And Verla of the Democratic Labour Party and also the representative from the UPP were there, and they had asked for numerous changes to the debate. The changes were made to accommodate those two parties, DLP and UPP. And on the final days coming into the actual debate, they decided to pull out after getting everything or almost everything that they
Where was
asked
this
for.
reported?
Grandma Phillips reported.
Grandma Phillips said it on the show.
Because he was a party senator.
You didn't come.
And he said it seemed to him like it was very frustrating that, after sitting down there and after a whole squabble in terms of what they want, what they don't want, and then their demands were met. And they said they were
double.
give the information regarding if they're going to be there or not present. They came back on the final moments and said they're not going to be there.
Simon, let me hear what you take on that.
They basically wasted the time of the members that were there.
And
also
the
for the electoral or whatever. And
I won't say it's a waste of time, but
if you
go
know
ahead.
you're not interested in debate, why even go to the meeting?
Because they want to hear what it was all about.
For a list from A to Z, you wasted time.
I
This
disagree.
Democratic Party about wasting time. Even at this time, you're sure they're wasting time. Who's to say that reform will go in the parliament and waste our time as well?
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to respond.
No problem, sir.
I think that the public of Barbados saw firsthand the train wreck that was called the debate. As one man said to me, he said, look, it can't be a debate
It's a
without
debate.
a D. So it was just a bait.
A debate.
Or e-bat. The
And then
reality...
we call it the debrief.
Debrief.
I want to say, what I really want to say is this.
Debrief, Simon.
What I really want to say is this. The Democratic Labour Party camp did not understand why it was necessary for a prime minister to declare that a national debate for a by-election. Because it is not within the remit of the prime minister to tell us when political parties are supposed to have a debate. That is really the reserved right of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, along with the Bar Jam and so on.
Jam doesn't have any say in it either.
Thank you. It's all about EBC.
The Electoral Boundaries Commission runs elections in this country.
So my whole thing is this. If you're going to have a debate for a by-election that is supposed to be dealing with the parochial issues, the debate clearly for us would have been used to promote the agenda of government and to give the people an idea of what the government is doing. And there will be a time for that when there is the national election. But for a by-election, dealing specifically with the people of St. George North, we did not think it was necessary to have a televised debate.
Agreed.
A televised
What's the word you
debate
used
that
earlier?
did not consider even the questions. Now, I can understand that there was a panel of persons living in St. George North who wanted to submit questions to both Miss Moore and the rest of the candidates, Mr. Refer, and the others. That was not the issue. So we knew firsthand that, you know what, having a debate, a national debate for a by-election was unheard of in the history of Barbados. So we did not want to...
So let me counter that, Simon. Hold on.
But Simon, what
But don't answer yet. Don't answer yet. My rebuttal to that is that the Prime Minister did not order or did not put into any action about a debate.
It's influenced by her.
She spoke to the fact that she's willing to give CBC the time, I think by waiver or whatever, by virtue, to air 3 debates which would give fairly. And she
Minister
said it,
doesn't
hold on,
have
she
to
said it,
see
hold on.
She's asking.
Hold on.
Because she doesn't own
She,
CBC.
hold on. And she also said that in doing that, she understood that the election was short. So she was trying to give the candidates the time, and the people the time to know personally the candidates by giving them these debates. Second to that, my thing is that every one of the parties, and Grenville Phillips said it here the night, had a fair shot in the process of how it would have been done by rules, and they were also given opportunities to also say where or what they would like to have change. The Democratic Labour Party went to all meetings or whatever meetings and were able to input what they want and still did not do it.
They did input what they want.
Right, and did not go.
The persons and the debate, whoever was organizing the debate, did make changes to what they want.
So
and the DLP wasted people
correct.
time.
So hold on. But on top of that, I believe that the fact of the matter is that the candidate that you guys chose, you guys had no confidence in that candidate to represent himself alone on a stage. And it had nothing to do with Tony, because here's what, in my belief, Timon Safri belief, it had weaker candidates like Alex Mitchell, had weaker candidates like Grenville Phillips, and this Waldron guy, and that would have been a fair shot on a two-man show regardless of what was said.
How can you get here and say a weaker candidate like Alex Mitchell, when Alex Mitchell was strong enough and bold enough to represent himself to the people of Barbados on CBC and represent his party and himself, while Florifa of the big DLP cannot do it?
He was busy. He was busy in a show. So I just think that you have no confidence in your person to let it alone. It's like this here. It's like having a child and you grow the child to 30 and you still want to hold the child's hand to walk across the street. So you have no confidence.
Finishing your answer as well.
Right, ladies and gentlemen that are watching right now, do you really believe? Just let us know in the comments that if the debate was a waste of time. Do you believe that that televised debate was a waste of time?
It was a waste of time, and you would say it that way because your candidate was not on there. If your candidate was on there, you would have said your candidate won that debate. Because here's what, I come in from a personal standpoint that I host debates in this country during the general election. And you know that your party to part, the BLP to part, UPP, BIM, everybody. Actually, I had a debate the same day election was called and majority of the leaders were in the same room. So goes to say that you could have said then to the people, hey, we want the questions filled for St. George. We want that the Facebook, there's a Facebook teleprompter filling questions from St. Georgians. So it ain't an excuse. It's just like I believe you do not trust your candidate who you posting around to be in there, just like you want Jesse to be in the parliament, so you're going to send verdict.
I don't believe that. No, can I answer, please?
Answer me. Kimar, you think that Florifa or the Democratic Labour Party think that Floyd is too big or too small to come to the public on national television and air his concerns about people of St. George North?
I think the party too big.
It's not a general election.
So it
is a by-election localized to St. George North.
Simon, are we not accustomed to new things and to this new Barbados Labour Party?
150,000 people watching two candidates cannot vote on November 11th. 6,000, 7,000 people are eligible to vote.
But were we only testing St. George, or we were also testing the candidates' ability to do the job?
That was probably the agenda for the Barbados Labour Party. That's not the agenda for the Democratic Labour Party.
Fair enough, it was the agenda.
But the thing about it is that the by-election debate was seen as tainted because the Prime Minister
announced it, giving the opportunity to them.
Even the head of Barjam said he would have preferred the Prime Minister.
Yes, but the Prime Minister gave.
So it seemed like a setup.
But it can't be a setup if you want this.
In the setup.
Hold on.
You really think?
Damani.
You know what? If the representative of St. George North was Simon Ali, Simon would be there in that debate. I don't care what
I would have followed
say.
instructions from my party leader.
Go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Let us.
You sound like Crystal.
Let us bring some reason back to this discussion. Now, the reality of the situation is that we are in the midst of.
He can promote the candidate is election.
Alright,
We
just-
take it. We find way, Brandon.
We are in the midst of a by-election.
Yes, it is, Brandon.
We are in the midst of a by-election campaign. I understand what the Prime Minister of
Thank you,
Barbados
Toya Stevens.
was trying to do when she announced the
Oh,
like,
the terrorist
debates, right?
Trying to bully people.
Hold on,
You felt bullied.
hold on.
Nobody's bullying the
Hold on,
bullying the
hold on,
Democrat.
hold on.
Nobody's bullying the Democrat.
Simon, let me talk.
Just go ahead. Nobody's bullying the Democrat.
Right, let me talk.
I can
right?
tell you that.
What happened when the debates were announced by the Prime Minister is that the
Tainted.
process became tainted. And let me explain why. The Prime Minister, when Mayor Motley announces a debate, if it's just Mayor Motley, that is Mayor Motley, the private citizen. But Mayor Motley, the Prime Minister of Barbados, announces something that carries a bit more weight.
A lot more weight.
Right? The fact that she has a candidate in the race, and the fact that the Democratic Party felt within themselves, you know what, you're probably being pushed into a corner. Right? Now, I will say this openly. I don't think that going to the debate, right, in any way helped or hurt Floyd Reefer. I also don't think that it helped or hurt Tony Moore. What I will say is that because of that debate, you have given, no, you heard third parties, you have given Alex Mitchell more votes than he probably deserved.
The legitimacy will vote well.
That's not our concern.
No, but the reality is that there are people who will listen to Alex Mitchell.
Fair enough.
I will say, look, I like what he's saying, right? And believe me, I vote for him. So
I believe what
No,
any madman will believe them comments. I mean, you put a madman stage. I had to send out a statement to cover your tail, and you said something gonna vote for life.
Kimar, listen.
But it shows
You legitimize the party.
No,
But-
Kimar.
I don't think you get a vote.
But it shows that the debate was not well run and it was not well managed.
Listen.
Thank you, Michelle, for the
listen,
compliment. I
listen,
appreciate it.
Hold on. The reality is,
Really appreciate the compliment.
the moderator on that given night was a poor moderator. Piss poor. I don't think he's reading news properly when you read it, right?
But you want that somebody for reading, right? You didn't even a cheer, big man.
But hold on.
I'll tell you.
But let us be real, right? The debate became a fiasco, and let us remove
We
the
lost.
debate out of the
We
whole
lost.
equation, right?
No essence, no substance.
I will agree with one thing that Simon said. If you had told me that this debate is going to be held in St. George North, because there's a by-election in
That's
St.
right.
George North,
Parochial.
you're going to have persons from St. George North,
These and these,
right,
everybody else.
sitting down in a room in St. George North.
Field their
They're going to
questions.
submit questions about what is affecting them in St. George North, and this debate is specifically geared towards the people of St. George North, because this is a by-election.
A parochial.
Right? Now, the reality is, in no form or fashion do I expect Floyd Reefer to go on national television and represent the entire Democratic Party.
Cannot.
He's representing the people of St. George North.
Correct.
Just as
You keep
hold on.
saying that.
Just as I am saying to you that you cannot expect Tony Moore to go on national television and tell you that she is the representative for the Barbados
No,
nationally.
cannot be.
And even
Yes,
though-
the Prime Minister said it that
but even-
Tony
even-
Moore is also chosen
But-
for the heavy lifting of what they have to get to do.
And
Say that it's
you
just
know-
about
you know-
St. George.
you know what-
St. George benefits, yes.
You know one thing.
But it's a by-election,
Hold on.
Kimar.
You know one thing I want you to do, Kimar, because you keep on talking about this heavy lifting, right? I want you to tell me what heavy lifting Tony Moore got to do that calling Jordan in St. Peter, my former constituency, right?
I got high blood
My
pressure already.
parliamentary representative. What heavy lifting does Tony Moore have to do that he, as a minister of labor, cannot do?
Correct. My whole thing is that the debate.
Tell me what you got. Tell me
Ladies and
what you got.
gentlemen,
Tell me
ladies
what
and
Floyd got to
gentlemen,
do.
the debate was a farce. The fact that CBC had
It was
put out
not
a statement
farce.
to say, listen,
Because a
we-
man with a made statements that she's not going to get
but
liable.
you all said that the statements and all the questions were approved upon. So that's
No, the man's statements to the questions, that has nothing to do with the questions, that has to do with his foolishness.
ladies and gentlemen, the debate was a farce.
It wasn't
The
a
debate was
farce. When it should have gone.
We watched and we cringed. I said, wait, this is what the debate
So I want to
was.
watch.
Wait, hold on. You cannot participate.
But you could have watched.
But you want to watch.
We're
But no,
right
you have a phone, you got Facebook, you got whatever. What are we doing?
You was at a bar. You say you was camera saying you was at a bar.
No, Floyd, I talk about Simon. I can't speak for Floyd Reefer.
Oh, you're watching
Floyd,
the
no, Floyd Reefer was doing
He was
his
at a
work.
bar.
He was doing his work in the constituency.
But you know what?
We got spot meetings. We do spot meetings. Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing that the Democrat Labour Party did. We did a lot of spot meetings in the community and the rest of the people.
I can attest to that.
Yeah.
But the Barbados party canvas
Yeah,
every
the
day.
ministers come on campus, of course.
I know Crystal.
But they got
3 hours a day.
Crystal.
3 hours a day.
The old girl come back canvas every minute of the day.
Yes, please,
They
sir.
can't go home.
Thank you, Mark.
They get pension.
Crystal had mentioned
They get
earlier-
pension.
Crystal had mentioned earlier about what has Floyd done in the community before turning to run for the Democrat Labour Party. And she also mentioned that he went to play the cricket game during this whole campaign at some
Sheffield.
Yeah, just because of the obvious election campaign.
No, it was just
was coincidence.
friendly. It was a friendly match. So
Okay.
it's a friendly match.
And you had mentioned to her that, you know what, does a person has to do
It's not
anything in the
prerequisite.
community. Okay, so
So you
why did Simon Ali that was running for St. Philip North?
Why you keep on getting back
during
there?
COVID, hold on, because he's
Stop
here.
focusing on
He's
the moderator,
here.
please.
He's here. Why did
Just a
Simon Ali
conversation
as
today.
St. Philip North representative, like that wanted to be representative, was out during COVID, kudos to
Helping
you,
people.
helping the people,
Yeah.
and assisting in whatever way he can.
Yes.
I can attest to that.
And yes, he will. We know we support him.
I give
And,
Simon financial donations,
after-
and I am not afraid to say it.
Jermaine, can I finish, please? And after all of that, people don't know. We are still in COVID. People still need assistance. I don't know if you have stopped assisting since you were not selected as the representative for St. Philip North, but you were
The
working.
donations.
You were working with the community before.
Of course.
Because obviously, it would work in your favor that you will help people who will then vote for you. I don't know if you're still helping them, although you're not the person.
Simon was
selected.
helping people through a
Somebody
pandemic.
say even the decor was poor.
Simon, listen. I want to say this for you, right?
Sure.
You were helping people in the middle of a pandemic at a time which was precarious in Barbados.
Crisis.
I do not look.
Everybody in Barbados was out
Even
for
though
it.
the money wants to
It was
link.
it
Hold
was
on,
a
the money
national-
wants to link your humanitarianism, right? And what you do out of the gentle soul and nature of your heart to some sort of vile political means, and it is wrong.
So that
The reality is, hold on, no, listen to me.
Vile.
Simon, you, during a crisis in Barbados, you got up and you looked at your community and you said, I can help.
But then
And
no-
if you walked around Barbados and you collected monies from whoever you collected from, and you bought groceries to help people in St. George North, St. Philip West, Christchurch West, no matter where you
Probably
help
should
people.
have done that, that's what you're saying.
No.
No,
What
we're not
I'm-
saying
no,
that.
what I'm saying is that we have to separate vile political means from a man who is doing humanitarian work. And you know what I believe, Simon? I will say this for you, because you may not want to say it. Regardless of if you were chosen as a representative
I do
for
not.
St.
Get back
Philip
on the
West
debate.
or not for the Democratic Labour Party, you do not regret 1 minute
not.
Oh, we get back,
assisting
Simon.
persons
Oh, we
in
get back,
St. Philip
Simon.
West.
He did. But
Oh, yeah, but you we find St. George North.
If he still continue doing those works,
He does.
Donations, yeah. Donations.
He does,
Donations
yeah.
go
So
down.
he
Donations
does.
go down. So other people are assisting.
But here's what my thing is. Simon does great work
that.
and continue. We always support Simon to do the work of helping people. I did it too, and so it's not a problem. But anyhow, back to St. George. This debate. I think that the debate just if you the DLP saw the value in it.
We didn't see the value. We saw
It
it
would
as a
have
trap.
put Floyd
We saw it as a
further
trap.
on the map as it relates to
I don't think so. I don't
representation
think so.
of the people.
I'll explain something, ladies and gentlemen. If a bully at school tell you meet me at the back school at 3 o'clock.
Again,
That's you.
again.
Me, I'm bullying. I am being figurative. I'm calling no one a bully. Ladies and gentlemen, if a bully,
So if you're candidate, if you're not going to take risks and challenges as it pertains to his
a
people.
bully, if
His
a
bully
bully
what?
said meet people at the school at 3 o'clock and I can show you what's gonna happen, are you going to turn up and face the bully?
Maybe-
The same bully that tell everybody, man, he can't fight, he can't talk, he can't speak. Hi, my name is
Simon,
Floyd Reefer.
Simon.
But I think I'm asking for this
Everybody-
show for 5 more minutes.
Everybody, I'm
Simon,
already here.
Simon,
What I'm
okay,
saying is
what
that
is
the premise of the debate was flawed. All right, because to me it didn't seem to be focused on the people that say
How it flawed?
because
So you had an import, the DLP had an import.
and we were not comfortable. We were not comfortable
we
with
were
it.
saying
We were not comfortable
But when
with will pass the debate. No.
Can I say something, please?
Mm.
It worries me,
Yes, please.
and it hurts me to the point that I'm part of the Men's Empowerment Network Support, as you know.
Yes, please.
And we are all for embracing men and helping
Nonsense,
Yes.
man.
men. And it is a shame that Floyd Reefer, Mr. Reefer, strong as ever, fit as ever, ran from a woman, Tony Moore.
He didn't run from a woman.
It's a shame.
It's like he didn't run from a woman.
And I'm sorry to hear
The premise-
that he wasn't able to give his side of his story
No.
for what he wanted to do to assist.
You all already
people
said the man
of
can.
the
You all
journey.
already said that. The thing about it is that
they-
I'm speaking to Nicole order. Ain't that the bully talk is nonsense? The bully talk is real. Because I'll tell you something.
Who is a
What
bully?
is it?
Who is a
I'm
bully?
not saying.
Is
listen to
Vernon
me.
a bully?
Far from it. What I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen,
Is the Prime Minister bully?
you go across Barbados right now. We've been counting.
He asked you a question, Simon.
Is the Prime Minister bully?
I believe that the Prime Minister has the majority in the House and she will try to get the things in her way. She has the most
She's the Prime
power.
Minister.
She has the
Sure,
most
take
power.
his way.
She has the most powerful
Did the story get his way?
cabinet. She has the most powerful
Did not
cabinet.
story, did not get his the same power
The
that the
Prime Minister,
had.
this Prime
Story
Minister
had.
has the most power ever in the history of Barbados. She has a bigger
Cabinet.
cabinet than Tom Adams, a bigger
Consultancies.
cabinet than Arrow Barrow, a bigger
Consultants.
cabinet than Bree St. John, a bigger
Consultants.
cabinet than Erskine Sandy
More
Ford,
effective.
and David Thompson,
More
as
effective.
well as Frontal
More
Stewart.
effective.
What I'm saying, all
Big
I'm
cabinet.
saying,
A big government
and,
that you
and
left.
she, but fair enough, and she won, fine.
She also got
What
she
I'm
also got
saying-
shot with
But what
Dr.
I'm
Justin
saying,
Ram.
when we
now.
look around this country, and when we went canvassing and talking to people hurting though. People are hurting.
Yeah, from before still too.
Yeah, I know they were hurting from before, but it worse now. They were looking
it worse now?
because they
How?
were looking for relief. You made promises and saying that relief will happen after the 2018 election, and we all believe that. But when they go to
Relief came. So
women like Bill comes and my water bill come, I don't see any relief.
but who that got to do with the Prime Minister?
When I have to get bus fare for the children.
Oh, Lord.
How much bus you brought down?
Kimar, he's the moderator.
Right,
I don't see relief.
I let the speaker in the house. I can't know. How much buses you brought
So
down?
when we go through
How
St.
much
George,
Kimar,
when we go
hold
through
on,
St. George North and we listen to what citizens are saying, they're saying, you know what?
They want
Yes,
bus.
we want
They
a
wanted
new
bus.
government.
They wanted
We wanted a new
problem.
government.
They wanted sewage on the street.
We want a new government and we wanted a solution.
They wanted water
Which we have
to
now.
Not all the time though.
Which we have now.
Not all the time though.
That before though.
Because Andre Wall and others brought
And
light
then we're
to
going
these-
to
Bottle waters?
You're part of the
Bottle waters can't be
we
in the bottle.
brought a light to the issues affecting the residents.
Oh,
in
and
St.
we-
George. And that is what
Why did Andrew Roy
That is what an opposition does.
The money, hold on, guys.
that is what an
guys,
opposition.
guys.
Sorry,
That is good conversation.
That is what an opposition does.
Andrew, what did it bring nothing?
An opposition.
We bring Tracy.
An opposition brings light to the issues affecting.
But you're not the
people
opposition.
in a country.
But you're not the
Hold on.
opposition.
But we
You're
will
third party.
continue, even if we are
You're
third
third
party
party.
or pressure group,
Mr. Loki.
we will continue to speak to the issues affecting persons in Barbados.
Somebody what I want to ask you though.
Yes,
Cameron.
please.
The serial how Floyd ran for the debates
He never for debate. He chose not to debate. He
because
chose not to, and he was
As
winner.
you-
Somebody
Somebody
said
said-
here, a comment here, hold on, a comment here said that relief would have come if the Prime Minister had found money in the treasury.
right.
What is it?
And don't want
Sir,
to be termed as a
Miss-
tainted,
Geraldine.
tainted government before.
Hi, Geraldine. Geraldine, I want to say to you, right? Clearly money will have to be in the treasury.
Where?
Because if you're not paying none of your foreign debts, you're bound to got money in the treasury. If
Hello.
you're not paying back for the prison, if you're not paying back for the Oval, if
can't
you're not
do it.
servicing any of your international debt, you're bound to got $1 billion in foreign reserves. If I am a mechanic and I fix 20 cars, and all the 20 cars in front of me, they're my cars,
I can't
but it belong to me.
Hello, those that money was there to pay nothing.
Money was there.
Money
What
was
do you mean
there to
money
pay,
was
money was
there?
printed to pay.
Hold on.
So those that money was there.
What
Money
was-
was printed to
what
pay.
was the
Money was
recommend-
never there.
So
What
that-
was the recommendation of the governor of the central bank? Go and look at what the recommendation of the
Where was the money?
Can I-
Because money
can
was
I-
there, money was
hold on,
there. You
hold
don't
on,
have to
hold on.
print
All
money.
governments print money.
Guys,
Yeah, but you will not
guys,
at 50 million each.
guys,
Right. Julian, was
So
it-
those that money was
guys,
there.
was one
Money
of
was
the
there.
issues were that the money was there to pay the debt in general or whatever, right?
yeah.
But what?
But had we paid
Sell it to
had we
IMF.
paid that money, we couldn't have how much weeks we need?
Dominique,
We need at least 12 weeks of
And we
reserve cover.
wouldn't have
and we
that
were
those
down.
weeks.
We need
We were
to
down to 6.
But all right,
How you can talk about money back?
We still get downgrade. We still get downgrade.
Stop paying debt.
All right, guys, hold on. Guys,
It was the best interest of
Kimar Safri, the money
And
small.
what you say? I hear you. What you say? IMF praising Barbados
Kimar-
based on things that
Guys,
they say.
IMF is praising before they do the evaluation, though.
Simon,
Yes, I'm sorry.
Kimar, the money.
Oh good lord.
Balance.
Somebody say
Sorry.
one female, but what the female
Just listen to me.
Yeah, go
Listen
ahead.
to me for a minute. The reality is, we can debate all we want about the government not paying the foreign debt or paying foreign debt.
Yeah,
What cannot be denied, and even Simon, my good friend here, will have to admit this.
Yes.
By Miss Motley not paying the foreign debt, restructuring the debt of Barbados at that given time, right? Because the debt needed to be restructured, and by Miss Motley doing what?
It's good.
By Miss Motley doing what she did,
we good, people.
right?
We good.
It is what will take Barbados through this COVID pandemic. And once, after the period of about a year, we are able to get back to a certain level of production, a certain level of tourist arrivals, albeit if there's a vaccine found internationally,
You have to purchase.
we have to purchase. Everybody got to purchase it.
We need for research.
The reality
Okay.
is that Barbados will fare well. And I want to be fair here
Yes,
and say that it will be unfair to criticize Miss Motley or the government of Barbados at that given time for not servicing the foreign debt, because doing that was in no way benefiting us. What Miss
Oh,
Motley...
you can't answer so.
No, hold on. No, I'm not saying it for
You can't answer so.
Kimar,
Because it did benefit we.
No, he's saying that- no,
I'm
he's
saying, just listen to me. You're not listening. You're not listening to me. Let me let a person who studied economics speak, right?
I ain't care what you study.
The
listen to the man.
reality is this.
Ryan, you keep speaking on
Miss-
principle. The protocol is a
Hold on.
conversation.
The reality is this. Miss Motley
Move on.
took a decision as the
Fair
Minister of Finance in this country,
Fair
and
enough.
I back the decision
And
100%.
advise.
There were some people who felt hurt, but in the long run, it benefited Barbados. In
We have money indicated that we borrow. Fine, fair enough.
And
We borrow
hold on.
money and we got it
And
indicated.
Simon, what I will say to you, I will say this to you, and I will say this to the Democratic Labour Party.
Go ahead.
It makes no sense going after the government of Barbados on the debt
I
restructure,
understand.
on the BEST program, the BERT program, the BOSS program. Hold on. It makes no sense going after the government of Barbados on those things. What you have, if you want to find a legitimate, if you want to find a legitimate reason to go after the government of Barbados, what you can talk about are the highly paid consultants,
Of course.
who
I
probably,
get to that, yeah.
in some people's view, are not performing.
$27,000 a month. Ladies and gentlemen, there are some people in government that do government jobs. There are some of you only work with $250 a week. You will never see $27,000 unless you go and borrow it.
You can talk about people,
union.
but they hear what we can see the evidence
see
of
what?
things happening. This
The Hyatt
how
Star,
much would have had?
The Hyatt Star, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that's another thing
The
I
Hyatt
want
who
to talk
problem?
about.
The Hyatt who problem?
You are saying, ladies and gentlemen, we hear this talk about the loss. Hold on,
Yes,
hold on.
go ahead.
We hear this talk.
Guys, one person at a time, please.
What is the topic for today?
The by-election.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Let's stay
so
there.
don't talk about the Hyatt.
No, because
Okay.
you want like us to talk
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
Simon, the
Don't
money.
talk about the building.
One
It
person at a time.
that they said it was no good, but now they can turn it into offices. A building that was condemned.
Simon, you're not here to canvas.
Okay.
But no, and it's fine that Simon could canvas because it's by election and he only got a little bit more time.
So when you speak about building, right? The same building, do they have a bus service in that area? One.
Yes.
Do they have
Yes.
shops and food
Don't be
restaurants?
here.
Yes.
Yes.
Two.
You got cafeteria, you
The
got
road,
cafeteria there.
horrible. Three. So
But it's a brand new building finished though.
it
You
was
can use it.
finished.
But
But question, was the building built for really truly purpose of the sanitation department? Because
Yes, it
the trucks
was.
can't go there
No,
at the
but-
headquarters.
So
Or
why
was
would-
it built to put money in
but
someone
why-
else's pocket?
Why would
It's
you?
not.
The money. I want to be real, right?
Be real,
Because
yeah.
I want us to
The
move
Minister of
away.
Building.
Hold on, I want to move away from political
It's
jargon sometimes.
headquarters.
Right?
It's the headquarters.
Hold on.
In a political conversation.
It is the headquarters for the
And where the
Sanitation
trucks will go.
Services Authority. The Sanitation Services Authority has a dump in that area where the trucks go. The workers right? The building was built for the administrative staff. The administrative staff of the sanitation service authority, right? So I mean,
but Jeremy,
don't go there.
Don't mind.
Don't go there.
No. I oftentimes, right? Let me be real. People come like Simon and yourself and myself and Germany. We all support different political parties. True. And this is the time when conversation. The thing is, real conversations like these are needed. Yes. Because when conversations like these don't take place, and they don't take place at the level they should. True. Because they say parliament or they say the things. These are real conversations, real questions. People are talking real. Over 334 comments tonight. So these don't mind talk or whatever. BL people are here tonight. DL people are here tonight. I seen the UPP people, but even the UPP and BFP and all they say hey hi, right? But this is good conversation. This is real people talking about their feelings and how they feel about stuff and defending party and things. Because you know what? None of Simon people ain't coming up from the org yard to defend and apologize. So Simon can do it. And
apologize for what?
Apologize.
And what your objective be, as you always say, you play your role. So the conversation is good. We flush it out of the system. You know why? We flush it out.
But what I'm saying is
because after we go back to a different topic.
Correct. What we want now, we know that the last administration was accused of many things and things don't go as they should. We understand that and we agree with that. But what I'm saying now, we want a new path. We have entrusted all of our confidence in this current government, and that is okay. But there must be checks and balances to power.
But aren't there the government's talking? People are seeing the government, hearing the government. No, listen. Everything
that the government does, the government accountable.
But you're not the opposition.
We will be the
opposition. So you're saying Joe's doing a bad job because he's the opposition. You're saying that Flo doing a bad job.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will have to let us know if you have confidence in Mr. Aberley and Mr. Caswell Franklin.
Caswell Franklin actually does quite an effective job.
You have not heard Mr. Reefer in Parliament talking about
So why the Democratic Labour Party, if they believe, now let me go down to the real talk before we close.
Yeah, before we close.
If the Democratic Labour Party believes so much that they have to keep this government in checks and balances, why they don't have shadow ministers enough?
We have spokespersons.
Our spokesperson to talk about that. The only body you all got is agriculture.
Ryan Walter,
the small business, and Andrew Ward. Yourself is
I'm on the health.
So four, and y'all are not
even. Verla speaks about crime and all other issues.
But y'all are not even candidates, but yet y'all don't even have a full count to back the 26 large that government has.
We don't need 26 shadow ministers.
26 or 2, but when they don't got nobody effective enough to speak against our checks and balances.
Simon,
do you think
in 1990 the Democratic Party had 2 shadow ministers, David Thompson and Dennis Kelmer? What nonsense you talking?
Hello, I'm talking from his context. But they were powerful, make a talk about everything.
That the means of getting Florifa in a parliament is so that the Democratic Labour Party can get that $150,000 grant to assist with the allegedly over $1 million that basically the party is left in the red.
I know what
It is about the people of St. George North. That is why Floyd Reefer was selected. He represents, and I want to repeat this again, ladies and gentlemen, whether you may say campaigning or not.
But when you say selected, ensure that you mentioned that he was selected out of 3 candidates.
Yes, 3 that formally
was selected.
Yeah, other people were approached. Yes, you might get approached.
Oh, we can get up last time. Someone is a big man here. We play.
That's right, Michelle. Michelle is strong.
Yeah,
I'm a common D. I'm a capital D.
Michelle, I am not part of ganging up on any Simon. Not me.
That's
I am objective here.
All I'm saying, but no, it's fine. Everybody has a view. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
All I'm saying is that the choice of Floyd Reefer.
Very good choice, baby.
Many people said it should have been Verla. It should have been somebody else. It could have been another person. We chose Floyd Reefer because he is the best out of St. George North. He is the best.
It's a shame.
No, it's not.
Was he the best or was he the fact that he wasn't paid?
How much time did you up in there?
10,000.
He is the best of the people that came forward.
Do you really think that he's best in St. George North.
You want my opinion?
Yeah, this is an easy bet.
He
I
was-
think there's nobody else in St. George North that can do a better
No,
job.
to be fair, sorry, but the money, to be fair, right?
You know, if you want to get here, I can tell you.
Hold on,
I
it
can
ain't
tell
about the being. Hold on, it ain't about being.
Yes, I think he's the best.
Because whoever the damn said was still gonna be.
But no,
Right, but regardless, we believe
that's what people believe.
that a homegrown guy.
But why?
but
But
the,
no, because
But
we
it's
believe
okay.
that Floyd resonates with the people.
but the money.
People
But he
don't-
never had a connection with the people.
But you know what? He
The
was
money-
an international cricket coach.
The money.
Wasn't he?
So he was
So
on.
wherever the West Indies was playing, Floyd would have to be with them.
Alright,
enough.
guys,
You want me-
guys.
Hold on a second. He was only coach for a matter of a short period of
And he
time. So he had that year before when he was cricketer for Barbados, when he was coach at UE.
Tony Moore
So he
had
was best
all
here.
the time
He
before.
was best here.
Tony
He
Moore
had time.
wore half shoes under the Democratic Labour Party and has remained silent. Maybe have to tourism workers who can't get their settlements.
So you think she was wrong for walking off her shoes after
No,
after
she
Okay,
believed.
thank you.
She believed that she
All
had a just cause.
that shoes out there.
That is
So
fine.
you walk with her also on
I
on
did
team?
not. Of course not. I
How
did not
come you
walk.
didn't know? Because
My
I
whole
thought
thing
you
is
were
this,
right.
right? My whole thing is this. I do not believe that Floyd Reefer is a sellout. I believe that Floyd Reefer represents the best that St. George North has to offer. And if he's given the opportunity
He's
by the
opportunity.
residents of St. George North to represent them, he will do a good job and he will be accountable to you.
And he also
This
has.
is not
But he
favor.
can't
Faber, if not, to be quite honest, if we were running against Faye Burke, we would be trembling in our boots.
Because the who you
Because
was-
Faye walked and talked along with Glenn in the length and breadth of
A
St.
great
George.
politician.
If we were running against Colin, I think we'd be trembling in the boots. No.
No, I don't.
Because he walked the length and rep though. So I get your point.
Anyways, guys,
No.
I get your point. You just said
I am
Keep
of the
Mark.
opinion.
You
I
just
am
said
of the
me.
opinion that
Yeah, yeah,
Floyd
you
Reefer,
like language.
if he's given the opportunity, can do a good job for St. George North. Ladies and gentlemen, it is about democracy. It is about having a proper opposition.
It is about the DLP having an opportunity in Parliament, which they don't. The people of
You have heard
Barbados.
Brendan Phillips. You have heard Alex Mitchell. Would
So,
really
hold on,
want to
Whoa.
put in there.
What's up with the game? What's going on here?
We don't want for the
Anyways, we want to get to the
by-election.
elections.
So we touch our American.
Can we all have wrapping up statements?
Yes.
No, I mean you get to the elections yet. We just need to go back
No,
to
I just said
American
We want to
elections.
wrap up because we want to leave.
I need to go home and watch my boy Trump win the election tonight. Huh?
So here's again.
What's the
Donald
update?
Trump has won Kentucky.
Oh yes, that's my
All
boy.
right, Donald Trump has won Kentucky. The votes
Yes.
are counted.
Wow.
Hold on, let me just get some final. Donald Trump has just been declared the winner by 54%, 187,000
And that's the state that
votes.
Joe Biden was to
So
win.
Joe Biden, 150,000 plus votes. The votes are also coming in. Donald Trump is leading in Indiana still by 65% to Joe Biden,
Simon.
32%.
Simon, tonight, but
Donald
you
Trump
be
is also
surprised.
leading in Virginia, 57%.
Yeah,
Votes are still
votes.
coming in these states. Donald Trump is leading in Georgia. Donald
God.
Trump is
Keep going.
leading in Florida.
You might go in. You might go in.
Wait, shit, this early, big man. So you tell them, this early
Listen,
vote.
next week we are going to be here because you know I was the one staunch Trump supporter and y'all
You used to
cursed
be a
me.
Trump man.
I used to be a Trump man too, so I
So I am
Hello,
going to be
Trump is not, the election is not finished. So
So you
just,
know that Biden will win. No, you said
he
everything.
coming here today talk about Biden and
Yeah,
I'm a Trump supporter.
you know you support with power.
With the by-election in St. George. Oh, Tony got it. No, it's Floyd. They going with Floyd. I'm going
Yeah, but
with
it's Tony. No, Floyd got it.
I'm going with Floyd.
We ain't believe that Floyd got it.
I believe that Floyd is the
Let
best
the people of this country decide on the 11th.
No, the people of St. George North.
That do, huh? Hey, but the Democratic Party went and thought he serious and caused so much other constituency that I even run it. I even want my he say St. Michael's North and St. Joseph North. I even know St. Joseph had a North.
Viewers, thank you, Ryan. Batman, like a fresh
I wish you a blessed
Yes.
and a wonderful night.
God bless
And I
you.
guess
guys.
you be staying. You be out also listening.
People,
watching.
Marcy and all that, I
Because
understand.
it's important to us as Barbadians to watch and monitor what's going on in the
Yeah,
US.
I said Marcy and y'all.
But no, but I want y'all to know this here, right? And this is in all fairness, right?
I know.
This is in all fairness.
Lisa Marcy,
When the
y'all wanna-
Republicans are in government in America, it is actually better economically for the Caribbean,
Good suggestion,
right?
man.
And I want to make this point. the Barbados' most important industry today, right now, is the offshore business sector.
Yes.
And
One
if
percent.
no, I've been straight.
Foreign direct
I've been straight.
investment. Foreign direct
If
investment.
the Democrats win the election tonight, Barbados and
Tomorrow.
the
Yeah,
Caribbean
tomorrow.
will smell hell.
If the Democrats-
Everything that the European Union
You can't-
and the
you can't
OECD
make
is
that
doing
part
damage to
on what-
us
on
now.
based on
You
what?
wait until Democrats get back in
On
power.
what? You on what basis?
On
guys.
history.
Okay,
Wait,
now-
hold on, let me give the people the facts about the election and thing. I just know that American is built up not of just popular vote but of electoral college vote.
Right.
And that is obviously made each state that they win has points. So each point they win,
Votes, yeah.
votes that come from the electoral college.
College, that's right.
So just
Biggest
know that
states.
as they win is a winner takes all with the exception of two, which is MAME and thing which splits their vote to the candidates depending on who win. But just know that the big states that you gotta watch out for is Arizona, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Georgia. Those are what you call toss-up states. Or
You must win Pennsylvania.
Must win, or those are. But think don't need
Florida got a law vote.
if Biden don't win Pennsylvania, that's good. That it's still good. He's still clear. So that doesn't have a problem.
Based on the results, they say, but you look clear.
Yeah, but it's Jermaine. Please note that Hillary Clinton was way ahead in the last election too.
Call you when she
So and she get hurt.
She get
And
hurt.
don't forget, it's a 270 pass the out of
was never ahead.
the 530 electoral
never
college.
ahead.
So just know that big states like North Carolina carrying 55
If you win
votes.
that, if you win that, boy.
Donald Trump may got 11, but when you count that 55 and then others that have big states, because the electoral college is based on how much population that you get the votes. So somebody coming in with 4 or 5 states could add up to 100 plus. Don't think that they say things. So yeah.
Remember what Donald Trump mantra is, huh? America.
Yeah, so people, I want you to do one thing for me before we go. If you are voting in St. George North, just left some fire, something just so we know that there was St. George people on tonight.
Thank you,
Again,
guys.
we do apologize for any misguided statements or any statements that were that felt attacking. We were not attacking.
Sorry.
We don't attack. If you think we felt heated tonight, guys, it is election. Fire is going to be in the house
By
next
election
week.
time.
As well, the election is over.
He's got more heat
Yeah,
than this.
so Simon, we hope to see you again and you don't leave us to get another shop and buy rum and coke. I'm just saying, I pay people bill, huh? I'm just saying, but we just want to make sure people that you know that we are here. We want to thank everybody for their comments. We love it. We don't mind if you hit at we personally, we don't mind.
We love all of you.
We love all the comments, we love
I
everybody.
mean, we's all friends in here, huh?
We all friends when we die.
We did.
Again,
And please don't forget, go and vote next week.
Next week,
And vote for Tony Moore and Barbados Day Party. Thank you.
Simon, you want to put in a plug there before we go?
I think I would have exhausted all the plugs that I have.
Okay, you don't got no more plugs.
So when he just said vote for Tony Moore, so she was saying vote for Floyd.
My election is not about pedigree.
I want Marcia, I want you from St. George, Marcia, that you're batting with Floyd.
This by-election is not about pedigree. It is not about who deserve and about elitism. It's not about any idiot who play cricket. It's about who is the best representative. I believe, because I'm a dem, and I've walked and I've canvassed with Floyd Reefer. So I believe that he's the best
Correct.
choice.
So go out there, people.
Go on,
Vote
vote.
for Tony Moore.
So you supporting 22?
I am supporting Tony Moore for the win.
I am supporting
St. George.
Best for St. George.
Which is Tony Moore.
Give Floyd
We
the
want more.
vote. Give Floyd
We
the
want
vote.
more. We want less. We want more.
Yes.
We want
Why the
less.
workers want more.
My take
Yes.
on it. My take on it is.
We want the best. We
My
want
take, my take on it is this: regardless of who wins,
Thank you, Tina.
the nomination, who wins the election on the 11th, the people of St. George North would have made.
We will
their decision.
upset. We will upset the people of St. George
And-
North.
and-
Where do you live, Tina? Let us
And-
know where you live, Tina. I will
and-
send Floyd down by you.
And I also. Man, cut that.
Come on, now this is
Cut that.
propaganda song. We know this is propaganda.
And I also want to say
Yeah,
this.
baby.
Can you pause that, please?
Can you pause
Can you
that?
pause that?
Don't forget that now, please.
Right. I also want to say this, right?
I thought we were wrapping up.
No, we are wrapping up, and I am wrapping up.
I'm going home, man.
I'm wrapping up. I'm wrapping up by
I want
saying.
to see Trump lose.
I'm wrapping up by saying this, right?
Go ahead.
We need to recognize that this is just a by-election, and the people of St. George North are the ones who are going to be seen
One man
as
can stand up back.
let me speak, Simon.
Go ahead.
The people of St. George North are going to be seen as the ones who are who are having a referendum on the government of Barbados.
Correct. We
Right?
are known as that.
Right?
Jeremy.
Hold on. I also want to say this.
Thanks,
We
Mr.
have to respect the people's wishes.
That's right.
Right?
We have a
And-
choice.
And I want to say this publicly. I want to say that both Tony Moore
Vote for
and
Floyd
Floyd
Jr.
Reefer are very brave people.
Yes, they
Right?
are. Yeah.
And they and
Brandon
believe-
Fella,
and
Alex Mitchell,
believe it or not-
Waldron, and all the
believe it
rest.
or-
I forget.
Believe it or not, they're both the best for St. George North right
That's
now.
right.
And regardless of whoever wins the race, the people of St. George North
Will be
will
well
Hello.
represented.
When the Barbados
you'll be
Labour Party won by
well
30, the country said thank you, well done, and we went along. But we are not afraid to say thank you to Floyd if he win, or thank you to Tony if she win.
And if Floyd
Thank
wins,
Geraldine, but I
and if-
support Floyd.
and
I'll
if-
be out on the
Yes.
ground with Floyd.
if Floyd wins,
I know
we
it.
want to invite Floyd on
That's
this show to come and speak with
We
all
invite
the
you
viewers.
too, and the Democratic Labour Party keepy.
And the Barbados Labour Party said,
Everybody-
"But you want to talk?"
Every guy is the beer
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what,
that-
the
yeah.
debate that set up? No way, man.
So,
That
guys,
debate was a waste of time.
thank
There you
you.
go.
Love you. Good
Good
night.
night. God
Next
bless you
Tuesday.
all.